All right. Before we get started, we definitely have to give so much love, gratitude for the one and only Jellybean Johnson for
Yeah.
giving us decades of amazing music. I just learned about it this morning. I don't know about you, Michael.
Yeah, last night started to see the posts come through. Yeah, just off the top, man. Rest in peace to Jelly Bean. Love to his family. One thing I would just say, just you see on the social media, man, so many pictures, with fans of Jelly Bean. Man, you can just tell like that was people's champ. You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely loved through the community, almost in a quiet way, but a big presence. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, I actually have one of those pictures. I didn't put it in the slide deck, but I have it's so fun. It's a really funny picture. I don't know how it happened, but Jelly Bean is behind me and someone put a plate of fried chicken in front of us and I just did I thought that was a little too disrespectful to show today. But yes, he very
Right,
much
right,
was all about the fam. And, you
right.
know, I am so happy that he actually showed up for when we did the Pop Life Symposium. And this is actually a photo from him from 1985, since
Mm,
we're about what did Prince do this week in 1985. So that's Jelly Bean in Miami from 1985. And I don't know, for those of you who watched this in real time, the Pop Life keynote for the
mm,
family, Jelly Bean was actually late, and I wasn't sure if he was going to make it or not because he had just gotten in from a gig. So his
mm.
dedication to us and to the fans, to talk to us, even though he just literally got off a plane, was like bananas. And so I just I don't know. And what's crazy is that a lot of times I might reach out to the people who worked with Prince, and a lot of them say no, but Jelly Bean said yes, and he just was really dedicated to us. So I have nothing but love for Jelly Bean, and I am thankful that I actually got to see him perform this summer with Morris Day and the Time,
Mm.
in Ohio at the Ohio State Fair. So not only did I have an opportunity to talk to him, but I also got to see him do what he does best, which is perform live. So it
Yeah.
was really, really fantastic.
You know what? One thing I always remember, and I don't know, I feel like it was sort of in the, you know, later years of me being a fan, at least, where I like I don't remember where I was, but the first time you got to see or you just realized like he could play phenomenal guitar, like he wasn't just a drummer, he was like multi-talented. I was just like, yo, like the cats coming out of that area, man, everybody could do a little bit of everything and they could do it very well. Like they were good at it. And the fact that he was the drummer for the time and the family, and then the other, sort of groups. I mean, man, yeah, he was the consistent. You could depend on him. Obviously, you could see like he held it down, like he was the beat. He was the groove of it, man. So yeah, salute to Jelly Bean, and phenomenal songwriter. Right, we can't forget Black Cat, Janet Jackson, Rhythm Nation album. So yeah, man, yeah, another one.
Yeah,
Another one.
another one. And what's crazy, when I first saw the family live, which was like, well, actually, when I first saw F Deluxe, because they were touring as F Deluxe, and for their very first show as F Deluxe, Jelly Bean was playing the guitar, and I didn't know that, like, at the time. Like, this is, probably, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago. And I was like, "Oh my god, Jelly Bean can also play guitar?" Like, that was such a
Mm,
revelation for me when I saw those original F Deluxe shows, and he
mm,
was just as, masterful on the guitar as he was on the drums. So he is definitely an amazing, amazing musician. And yes, we definitely want to send out our deepest condolences to the family of Jellybean Johnson, and also to all the purple, the purple community. I can't imagine what Morris is feeling right now. St. Paul, Susanna, Jerome, Eric Leeds, everyone who actually performed Dr. Fink with Jellybean. I can imagine, because whenever I would see Jellybean like speak with, let's say, like the family, he just seems to be that person that kind of was sort of the glue, and a glue of laughter. He just seems like he was the best. And I remember doing the Pop Life keynote when St. Paul was talking about recording his vocals. I had always heard that David Z was in the studio with him, but St. Paul said, but who else was in the studio was Jellybean. And so, like, I had never heard that until our interview earlier this year, and I thought that was really incredible. And it's the best story, because St. Paul said that David Z would be saying, like, you're flat. And then he said that Jellybean would say, yeah, you flat. And so he would repeat everything that David Z would say. Jellybean would repeat it to St. Paul about his vocals. And I can't imagine, like, how incredible that must have been. All right. So we have a very special guest who's going to join us right now. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Welcome to the stage, the one and only TED Talks Bass.
What's up, people?
What up, sir?
What up? Man, rest in peace, Jellybean.
Absolutely.
I gotta say that as soon as I come in the room. I'm so happy to see y'all.
Yes.
Man, happy belated birthday.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes,
appreciate it. I don't want to derail y'all. Y'all stay on task, but I appreciate that. I got a lot to talk about.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute for sure.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. But before we move on, I just want to say that this community means so much to me, because when I woke up and heard the news, I knew that I was going to be in community with you today, and it made me a little less sad. So, being in this community every week means so much, and that for Michael Dean to be here was just like my prayer, because I didn't want to be here alone. And now we have TED Talks Bass here, and all of you in the chat. So I just want to say thank you for being here every week, talking about what we love. And we loved Jellybean. We love the time. We love the family /F Deluxe. And these people are who keep us in community every week. So we just want to make sure that we send them love, all of them, and we want to give them their flowers while they're still here. So I am so thankful that I was able to interview Jellybean earlier this year and let him know how much he was loved by the community. So, all right. Okay, so we got to do this for Ricky. Let me get my right button.
And then they tried to take advantage of her.
Baby doll house.
All right. Okay, so
funny thing, I was just watching Godfather last night.
What?
And when these little parts come up in the movie, it's just like, what? I forget how coded Prince that movie is. Like, just how much it shows up throughout his stuff.
Yes. So this week was the 38th anniversary of Madhouse 16, which is crazy to think about. And remember, what I love about the Madhouse Project is that both Madhouse 8 and Madhouse 16 was released in the same year. Madhouse 8 in January and Madhouse 16 in November in 1987. Isn't that crazy? Listen to
that alone is why these albums need to be spotlighted, need to get proper re-release or something. Like, it's not like Prince throwaway songs. These are like instrumental jams. Prince, like, what other pop artist, R&B, or whatever artist is able to flex like that, and it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Like people still jamming to it many years later.
Yes. What about you, TED Talk Space?
Man, listen, y'all, that whole little thing is making me feel some type of way. And I am also in the process of reestablishing my own band. And I was going through the song list today, and I'm like, yo, I gotta put some Madhouse in there. So stay tuned. I got my own Candy Dolpher down here.
Oh,
so just get ready.
Okay.
Yeah, this is some fire stuff right here, boy.
Yeah.
Most deaf. All right. So where's Ricky when we need him? So are you gonna do? Can you do like a Dear State for us real quick for Madhouse?
Sure. Short and sweet. Dear State, stop bullshitting. Release Madhouse. Let's go.
Sound like Pretty Ricky to me.
Yeah. Something like it.
Yes. We also want to make sure. Ricky, if you're watching, we miss you so much. We hope that you get better really soon. But I know you wouldn't let me live if we didn't talk about Madhouse 16. So yes. All right. And I love yes, to the point. Okay. So what else happened this week? How many
Stop
of you
playing, D'Angela. Stop playing. You know what happened this week.
So
Put him in the case, goddammit.
oh, hold on.
If he gets in there. That's what happened this week. Around the world today.
That's right. So I want to know who in the chat has gotten their Around the World in a Day deluxe version, because I'm still waiting on mine because I ordered mine from the Prince Estate, from the Prince Stove. So I still haven't.
What's the tracking number say? When it get to you. My bad.
Yes. So anybody get theirs? So what I'm really looking for is this like purple marble vinyl. That's what I'm really looking forward to. It looks really, really stunning. And then you also have the 3 vinyl set with all the remixes and whatnot. And then let's see.
I was gonna say I don't have the physical yet, but I do got the digital. And yeah, the album is smoking. Did I want the extra tracks and all that? Yeah, but here's the thing. After listening to this a couple times, the regular remastered version and the Atmos version, the album was enough. And I'm saying that in a good way. Like, to me, it just makes the album sound, how would I say? Like, it'd be like if you're watching a movie, you've always seen the movie on TV. It's one of your favorite movies all the time. Just because of technology, maybe you grew up in a time where you only saw Star Wars was on TV, right? Like, it just never came into the theaters as you've been alive. And there's a lot of people like that, right? But they love it. And then they'd be like, yo, they about to show the original Star Wars in IMAX. And you're like, oh, let me check that out. And then you go see it, and that shit blow is something you know, but you see it in a way that you ain't never seen it before. And now you can really see. Yes. Say it again.
Sign the Times Live.
Okay, yeah. So it was like, to me, it's like listening to it in IMAX or something. It's just like, yo, what this record can sound like? Like, it just sounds sonically like ridiculous. So I just can't wait for the rest of these albums, classic albums, to get this treatment. Because, yeah, man, it was ridiculous. What's the song? Condition of the Heart.
Oh, yes.
Ridiculous. Like, you can really hear his voice and all the shit he's doing in that song. I like the song before. That is my favorite song off the album right now. Like, it is that, like, to me, just like, yo, this is what he was doing back then. Yeah, all those songs that I just kind of didn't, I would kind of listen but skip through a little bit, pass over a little bit. The Ladder, Temptation, a whole different life of their own. You have to listen to it, especially if you've heard them before. And this is for the people who've grown up listening to it over and over. listen to Temptation, that Atmos. To me, it's the same thing I had when I heard Purple Rain, the song on Atmos. That's a whole different. It's like hard rock, like it's like.
That's why I try to stay away from y'all, because y'all make me spend money, man.
Well, here's a kick. You don't need to
Yeah.
spend no money. Just regular headphones that you got on right now. Apple Music, and then you ready. You ready. That's it.
I feel like I'm missing out because I ain't got it.
You have to listen to it at least. So you have to hear it once. Particularly, I would love for you to specifically to hear it and see what your opinion. When I first, I'm like, I don't spend too much. When I first started listening to the Atmos version of the album, I was kind of like, I'm not. These interesting choices that you're doing there, Mr. James. Talking to the engineer. But then as you go through and I'm like getting used to it, I'm like, okay, some of the songs that just like knock you over the head sound like, whoa, Tambourine is ridiculous. But then I went and listened to it again after I kind of adjusted my ears to really understand it. Phenomenal. Like I said, it makes the album sound as if it has just became a movie or something. And you can really hear what Prince was going
the drums
for.
on that tambourine are just,
yeah.
I mean, just the intro.
And here he gives it proper separation.
Yeah.
So you can really hear the different. Oh, that's what, and you can maybe hear the clarity of the voice a little better. The other part, this last thing I'll say, the background vocals. I don't know if it's Susanna, Wendy and Lisa, or Tanja Seville, I think on the latter. The background vocals now, to me, I just couldn't hear them the way I hear them now. Now they've given space for those background harmonies for those the ladies. Excellent. I don't know if this was the first time he starts doing this on record like that. I mean, you can hear it very prominently on the Parade album and things of that nature, but they was doing it on these songs. At least for me, I can really hear it. Go ahead.
Let me ask you about this. On Pop Life, the vocal treatment on Pop Life has always intrigued me. How it's like,
yeah,
you how there's one vocal right in time and the other vocal is slightly off, and the other is. What's that effect like for you?
It's interesting you bring that up. It's still there. It's probably, I would say it's more prominent in a sense.
Yeah.
But at first time I listened to the album, I was like, I don't know if I like this. But the thing is, the music though is so, you can really hear Pop Life now.
Yeah.
That it took me a second, and then I was like, yo, this is smoking, because you can really hear it. But yes, you do hear that effect. I will say that there are a few songs in this album that I didn't know had somewhat of an effect like that. They're not as out of time, but they're very more prominent now. It took a little get used to it, because you'll get really hearing the vocals now, and it's on some of the other songs too.
Okay.
But yeah, man. Paisley Park really sounds like to me it sounds like the band, like it was alive. I don't know if it was, but it sounds as if it was. I could see them sitting on a rehearsal stage and they've been practicing for a while, and then it's like, okay, let's do it. And just the way his voice is on that, I didn't know there was an effect on his voice to that level of to the degree that I don't know if they're just bringing it up more in the mix. I don't know what they do in this, but it's an interesting thing. Like I said, if you've listened to these songs for as long as we've been listening to, you're gonna be like, oh, okay. And you'll either like it or not, but I think you will find it very fascinating. And
I'm gonna give you a full report. I'm excited about it. Somebody said in the chat that Chris Bornia said She's Always in My Hair should have been an album track and Tambourine a B-side. I agree with that.
And that new the remaster on that song, yeah, that people this song is dope. Now you can hear, to me, I hear how that song's supposed to sound.
That's probably my I think that's probably my favorite Prince song. Speaking of favorite and least favorite Prince songs, I do, D'Angelo, if I may for just a second. I famously at this point had a dislike for Arms of Orion.
Here we go. Uh-oh.
Are you switching teams?
It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
I listened to it a lot last weekend.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm so ashamed. Oh, and it kind of grew on me a little bit.
Is that where you want to be now?
Oh,
It kind of grew on me a little bit.
no, you did, Michael.
I don't know how
You
I feel.
searching for God or you searching?
Man, you know, everybody's
your
searching for the
tranquility?
ladder. I ain't, man, look, I feel some type of way.
Got him.
Got him. I almost feel a little dirty.
Hilarious.
Oh my
To
God.
hear it. Yes.
I omit it.
Yes.
I omit it.
That's all right, brother. Come on in.
I ain't say I
nice
liked
over
it.
here.
I ain't say I liked it like that. I said I listened to it a lot. That's what I said.
Yeah, there you go. We won.
God. Okay, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna shut up. And
It might have been
Somebody time stamped that.
You know, listen, it might have been the company and the time, and it was,
Nah. Just gonna take that.
I love this from Heavenly Gains, and the Oscar goes to
Oh yeah.
Shane.
Yeah, give it up.
Take.
Another one.
Well, I see y'all got your clown suits on today, huh?
Right on, Ted. Right.
Oh my God! I think you're under some kind of spell.
We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it
there.
We're gonna leave it there.
Interesting.
From some insider knowledge I got. Okay, so who went last night to Paisley Park? Because I wish it would have made different life choices, but they only announced this last week, or that they were going to be showing Live at First Avenue 1986 in 4K, if I remember correctly. Now, this is worth going to Paisley Park for, but I can't do a flight on the same week. I'm not rolling like that. So I'm curious if anybody saw that. I don't see Christina Slosser, who usually goes to these things because she's based in Minneapolis. So if Christina, if you watch this, let us know if you went. Oh, I love this. 12:21 p.m.
There you go. Make that a t-shirt. Somebody, I need that t-shirt.
No.
Oh my God. And I also love this comment from EA8133. Come back next week, Ted, and see if the spell has been lifted. That's what I want to know.
We gonna think about that.
Oh my God. Exactly, Chanel. Can we get that 4K to buy? I would love to see this in mint condition.
Right.
This would be so amazing. I love this, Ted, in rare form. Oh no, Christina. Oh no, I was hoping that you would be our reporter. Okay, I understand. So this is absolutely amazing. And we've been talking about this color a lot. Prince is really into this color right now, like a magenta.
Yeah.
So remember we talked about that last week? Mm-hmm. All right. So because we're talking about Around the Rolling today, next Friday is Black Friday, but it's also Record Store Day. So Record Store Day is when you can get the Around the Rolling Day singles box set. There are only 1,985 copies because this was released in 1985. So you got to line up, and I'm going to try to get me one. And we're going to see because it looks beautiful. But again, I guess I have another Dear State moment. Let's do it really quick. Dear State, we love these 7-inch box sets, but you know what we would love even more? 12-inch box sets. So thank you so much. All right. So
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that would be the one.
That would be the one. This would be the one 12-inch box set. That would
replicate each one how they came at the time they came. Like the Love Sex, you'd have to have the clear.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see what he goes. Ain't no spell here. He's just been wrapped in the arms of Orion.
Hilarious.
Thea, oh my goodness. Okay, so who's on Record Store Day? So I'm trying to see am I the only person? Okay, so I gave I'm gonna I'm gonna see what we're gonna have in the chat. So I gave a talk about Prince to non-Prince people on Wednesday, and because it was non-Prince people, I thought everybody and their mama had watched Dancing with the Stars on Tuesday night because it was a Prince tribute. Like the entire, show was dedicated to Prince. They had like a symbol crystal ball that was purple, that was all glittery and like it was. Michael, it was so
Of course
great.
they did.
Of course they did. And so I'm in this room and I'm just expecting everybody's hands to go up because it's non-Prince people and not one person raised their hands. And so anyway, it was a really great show. If you didn't see, I don't watch Dance with the Stars.
Is this where I see the clip of Carlton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, for sure. Okay. I love this Purple Cat.
Who were the stars on the show?
I don't remember. I don't know. I didn't know any of them. I will say this. What's interesting about it, even if you're not into Dancing with the Stars, is they took some liberties with editing some of the Prince songs. And I actually want to know who edited it because the edits were seamless, like the way they did it. But they also have a band that's directed by Ray Chu. I think I'm saying his last name right, Ray Chu, and they actually performed some of the songs, and they would speed some songs up, and they would have different vocalists. But I would have rather that they just kept with the Prince versions and the edited Prince versions. But it was really interesting. And then I'll stop because I thought when I first started watching it, they're just going to do the hits. They did Kiss, Purple Rain, all that. But they actually, a couple people danced to Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect that. Wow. Okay.
I wasn't expecting that either. And wait for it, Michael Dean. A couple also danced to Slow Love. Yes.
That might be worth it. Was there anybody dancing to Arms of Orion?
No, there was no Arms of Orion. But
it might be worth a rewatch. I might go find it.
Yeah, I think it actually, I wasn't expecting to watch it. I had no plans to watch it, but my mama called me because my Uncle Charles called my mama and said, if they call me, does Angela know that they're having this Prince? So I was like, okay. So my mama called me, my Uncle Charles wanted me to watch this thing. And then I thought it was going to be an hour. It turned out to be 2 hours, but I was hooked because I just really loved seeing them dance to Prince songs, especially when he was singing the songs. And so it was really, really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't hate on that. 2 hours given prime time to Prince.
Yeah, for
2025. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Now, the state, don't take this no, the next release, don't put the Dancing with the Stars mixes on the thing. We don't just leave that over there. Know how y'all like to throw on all the.
But what was great about it is that they advertised Around the World in a Day Deluxe set twice.
Oh, wow.
So that was nice. So hopefully that will have some additional sales because we just want to make sure that they continue to do it. And the band would play Slow Love because Slow Love was one of the ones that the band played. And they actually did a phenomenal job of Slow Love. And I'm not the biggest fan of Slow Love. So I was like, okay. Yes, that's right. Go Uncle Charles. Let's see. Yes. Prince is still having an impact. Let's see.
Yeah, I think I saw something online where the Rainbow Children was charting on some charts. I don't know if it was the iTunes or Spotify or something, but it was like going up, along with, I think, Around the World in a Day is, I want to say the top 10 or higher.
I understand Around the World in a Day, but why the Rainbow Children? Is something going on that I'm not aware of?
It's because it's time. It's getting time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. All right. Okay.
The Rainbow Children are starting to rise. That's why. You're in a cult.
So again, this Around the World in a Day singles box set is coming out on Record Store Day. And of course, we are in 1985 on What Did Prince Do This Week. And we love the Record Store Sing. So I just wanted to show some photos. So as we get ready for Parade, Unchair Moon and the upcoming symposium. It's so funny. Like, I know what he's saying here. It's crazy.
Go back to that picture one. That's the Prince I like, right? Yeah, like you know, a little Richard Pryor, a little.
That's right.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So Kim says iTunes R&B chart Rainbow Children release anniversary this week. Yeah, nice. Okay. And then let's see. Yes, thank you. See, Theo knows what's up. I'm on the U40 symposium, and that says what? I love this. Yes, yes. All right. So we had another anniversary, Rainbow Children this week. How did I miss that? And okay. All right. And let's see. We got this photo. Here are some more color photos since we've been looking at some of the color photos. This is one of my favorite scenes. I don't know why I love this scene so much, but I love how reserved Prince is, or rather Christopher Tracy is, and how Tricky is like so excited. There's just like a dichotomy between how they're acting. I love when they look out. It's another great photo.
Finger waves.
Yes, the finger waves are popping.
Hilarious. That to me, like, when you first see that, and I'm like, it reminded me of my auntie back then, because that was the only people I really seen had their hair like that were women, or were like, you know, some cats on the street or something. So to see like Prince have that, I was like, oh, he actually is kind of connected. He's actually okay. He's not like some far off dude. Like, he must be connected to something, because he know what that is.
Yes, and Drea dances still can't believe that she was a niece last year, which is amazing. Yeah, that must be really, really amazing.
Boom, 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 boom,
And
boom,
then
boom,
this is Miss Mary Sharon. And more Miss Mary Sharon. Oh, this was actually from the press kit. I always thought this was an odd photo for the press kit, but that's just me. Love this shot. Christopher Tracy. This is another one. And that says what?
Hilarious.
And I love Jerome in the scene as well.
Tricky.
And I just love seeing Jerome laugh, or rather Tricky laugh.
You say Tricky D sausage.
And here's another color photo, you know, after the performance of Girls and Boys, and Mary Sharon's father comes in. Okay. We have finally arrived at our housekeeping because we've been in salon mode. This is week 47 of What Did Prince Do This Week, a very slow read of Duane Tudahl's Prince Studio Sessions book series and a Saturday salon. We're going week to week, not date to date. You can follow a detailed schedule at this link or QR code. You do not need the paperback version, but that's where you have the most updated information. Look at Ted. Ted got his book as well.
Ted ready.
I don't know what page we on. It's like being in high school again.
Right.
Well, I'll let you know. I won't let you know the page, but we will be reading from November of 1985. So, because do you have the paperback, or I couldn't tell, or the hardcover? Yeah, you got the paperback, because I can see the circle. That's how you can tell. What's up, mooches? Always love seeing Vanity. Got to make sure to put Vanity on screen. Yes, man, Ray 10. Those color pictures make me want to see On the Cherry Moon in color. And every time I say that, then someone says, but I like it in black and white. I love it in black and white. I just want to also see it in color. That's just me. Because those outfits are exciting. So someone asked us earlier today in the chat. I can't remember their name. I think it was Kenneth. I don't know if Kenneth is still here, but they asked, why is What Did Prince Do This Week on 2 different channels? It's because we simulcast on Michael Dean's channel as well as my channel, which is Polished Solid. So that's the reason why you can find these in 2 different places. And I hope that you'll subscribe, like, and help spread the word if you want to be in community with purple nerds like us. And then our hashtag is WDPDTW. If you ever want to send us anything, WDPDTW@gmail.com for What Did Prince Do This Week? Because no one can remember that for some reason. And then This is an independent endeavor. The State of Prince Rogers Nelson is not affiliated or associated or connected with the What Did Prince Do This Week book club series. We choose to be a community even when we disagree about Arms of Orion. What we played at the top of the hour was 11, but I call it Baby Doll House. I never call it 11. And the players, because, so one of the differences between Madhouse 8 and Madhouse 16 was Madhouse 8 was just Prince and Eric Leeds, as we know. But on Madhouse 16, there are more players on some of the songs. Sometimes, yeah, thank you. I love this, LTKK. Yes, Sam, we're big time. That's right. You're never late. Thank you for being here. Yes, I love that. We're on that Purple Rain Live simulcast on MTV and local closed circuit timing. That's right.
There you go.
So on 11, or Baby Doll House, we got Eric Leeds and Prince, but we got Sheila E. on the drums and that bass, because that bass is fantastic, is Levi Caesar Jr., also known as Leviticus. I don't know why he called him Leviticus sometimes. And then we have Susanna Melvoin on vocal sample, and we have a little spoken dialogue sample from The Godfather. So that's what you got for 11. And yes, Colin, I so agree that Purple Rain on the Cherry Moon is better than Purple Rain for me personally. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so again, episode number 147 of week 47 of 1985. No songs, no studio sessions, because this is the last week of principal photography for Under the Cherry Moon in 1985. Now, I have an asterisk because of the way Duane wrote it. I am not quite sure if if Prince was in the one studio session that happened this week, which was on Monday, or if it was solely Wendy and Lisa and Susan Rogers. But then on Thursday, again, there's principal photography for the film. And then on Friday, there's a girls and boys video shoot. So if we can have our guest, since he's joining us today, read Monday, November 18th, 1985, which is 237, because you got the paperback. Page 237.
Hold, please.
Man.
Monday, you say?
Yes, Monday, November 18th.
Monday, November 18th, 1985. Estimate. Sexual suicide, possibly Wendy's vocals mix. Christopher Tracy's Parade mix. New Position mix. I Wonder You mix. Under the Cherry Moon mix. Girls and Boys mix. Puma Crest mobile recording unit at AdVision Studios in Nice, France. Producers Wendy and Lisa. Artist Prince and the Revolution. Engineer Susan Rogers. Oh, there's more. But there's more. Everybody's a gangster.
You don't work over here, goddamn.
Listen, when I was a teacher, I'd say everybody's a gangster until you ask them to read a paragraph.
Hilarious.
Having the mobile truck on set, that's why I'm not a teacher anymore. Having the mobile truck on set was especially fun because I wasn't chained to Prince's hip. He was really busy on the movie set, and so I had more free time than I normally would have. And he had to go to bed early because I thought he didn't sleep because he had to be up early. But when he did go out in the evening, that meant that I was free to go out in the evening too. Susan explains the process of recording music during this period. Many of these scenes were shot in the south of France. In France, of course, you take these 2-hour lunches. Prince didn't need 2 hours for lunch. He didn't need a nap. So I'd be there in that truck. And in that 2-hour lunch break, he'd come into the truck and we'd work on Sexual Suicide. We'd work on Splash and some really fun titles. Then he'd have to go back to the set. But I could stay with Eric and do horn parts and things in the truck. For example, we do mix pieces. We just have so much fun. Prince played Sexual Suicide for Wendy and asked for her help on the track. I love Sexual Suicide. I don't. I'm sorry.
Stop the presses.
What I do?
Tell me that you have gone over to Arms of Orion and you don't like Sexual Suicide?
Oh no, love, that's not what I was talking about. I loved the song.
Okay.
Anyway, I was trying to be funny.
Oh, hey, yo, Ted, stick to the.
I'm gonna stick to the script here. This is just like high school.
Start a riot up in here.
Prince played Sexual Suicide for Wendy and asked for her help on the track. I love Sexual Suicide. It's one of my all-time favorites. I did not play on that, but he asked me to go in and double his vocal, and he had me sing it in a mobile truck. Although it is unclear if Wendy's vocals were recorded on this date and in this particular mobile truck, he was insistent that she add her voice during one of the sessions. I remember singing it and being like, oh, this is something. I was like, that's incredible. You've got to put that one out. And he was like, no. I don't know why he didn't release that. He just didn't think it was right, I guess. I don't know. Too funky. Sometimes I thought he held back things that were so funky, and it is very funky. Sometimes he felt that way. I'm like, why isn't that out there? Dream Factory was another one. This batch of songs were also being considered for the Parade project and Under the Cherry Moon, so they were being given a new mix. Additional overdubs were likely part of this session as well.
Man, can we talk about that part? That's incredible. You got to put that one out. And he was like, no. And then, you know, they're asking the question, you know, was it too funky? Sometimes I thought he held back things that were so funky. Do you guys think that he would? Do you ever think something like that? Like he was purposely
that he purposely held back?
Yeah, dope ass tracks like this. Like,
yes. I mean, there's a quote. I can't remember who he was talking to, and I can't remember the time period and when he said it. But he said it's recorded that he said that he didn't like to give his best tracks to Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I remember. Actually, I remember seeing.
Yeah,
I can see that. You know, some of this stuff, you know, coming out and all this music coming out, like I like it, and then I don't like it as well. We've talked about this before because it's always been sort of like this secret handshake with. You know what I mean? With real Prince fans. So I remember hearing Sexual Suicide. What was it? Chocolate Box? Was that the bootleg that it first appeared on? For me, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at first it seems like it's a lot going on in a tune with the horns. You know what I mean? Like maybe it was a commercial thing. I don't know. But I think he did hold back some of that real raw stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting to hear somebody in the camp say it. To me, it's because I thought like, yeah, why wouldn't I think about some of the songs even back, even in
maybe
the 80s,
it's too heavy. Maybe it's too heavy. It's heavy as hell.
Yeah, I love Kim's comment. If we think about all peace songs as journal entries, and Prince also said everything you need to know about him is in his songs. I think that sometimes, and Susan Rogers has also said this, that if he felt he was being too vulnerable, he wouldn't put things out. So, I mean, and I'm sure that in some cases, like what Wendy's saying right now, that if it's too funky or, if he thinks it's really, really good, then he wouldn't put it out because he didn't want, quote unquote, Warner Brothers to have it. I think Chris Bournet's question is an interesting one. Was Prince anticipating leaving Warner Brothers? Why did he resign with them in 92? With any relationship, there's always peaks and valleys. So, who knows what was going on when he recorded that.
You think he was thinking of that back in 85? Like,
you just don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know how hard he had to fight to get Under Cherry Moon made, or, that's something that we really don't know. Like, was that easy because of the success of Purple Rain, or did...
I would think so. I'm like, who's going to bankroll the pop star wants to make a black and white movie in France? That's got to be a carte blanche situation. Like, okay, whatever he wants to do, let him do it. Because in his right mind, there's no way.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know because I mean, there was a lot. Okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm not going to push back on that.
Ooh, Sexual Suicide could have been on the Black Album. I agree with that
Ooh,
100%.
That would have been fired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
for
would-
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, all right.
But one of the things that I absolutely love about Sexual Suicide, especially when I heard it in real time during the 80s, is the horns. That horn line in Sexual Suicide is like fire. It's like the stacking of the horns. It was nothing. It was like it was a Prince song. We're used to the song now, right? But when I first heard the song, I was like, I have never heard anything like this from Prince.
I think it's very Tower of Power.
Mm.
The horn arrangements. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And then, as we know, it was eventually released on the Crystal Ball set.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's right.
And let's see what's Melvin Rush is saying. I can see Sexual Suicide was heavy and jazzy, almost like a Miles composition. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with this, Chanel. Chanel says, I think he wanted to keep some work from being owned in perpetuity by the corporate labels. And
yeah, I do agree with that somewhat. I think later on, but that would be odd to me back at 85 when he's dropping most classic songs in his career at these times. Like, would he not have held back Kiss or
yeah,
some of these other ones? But I definitely could see that later on. But
what do you think of Andre's comment here? I assume it didn't fit his concept or theme of Parade, but could have replaced Life Can Be So Nice, though.
No.
I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad.
Go to your room. No. I mean, listen. Let's take it easy.
If nothing else,
So
this
Nice
would have
is
been
a dope opener for that album. Now, come on now. I don't know about
nice. That is after Another Leper.
Well, I just know, in the film, it's during when he's waiting on Mary Sharon and when they're about to race. That's where it is in the film. But in terms of the album,
Sexual Suicide in the movie?
No, not that I'm aware of. So Life Can Be So Nice is the second to the last song before Venice de Milo on the first side of Parade.
Okay.
That's
if nothing else, Sexual Suicide would have been a bomb-ass B-side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I like this comment also from TP in terms of thinking about the record label. He was definitely thinking of it in 1985. He knew Sam Cooke's history, hence the nod and Under the Cherry Moon. Something to think about.
But then why give them two madhouses and all this?
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I mean, up and down, up and down. You know how that goes. Like sometimes you're, feeling good with whatever relationship you're in, and then all of a sudden you go, I don't know. Okay, yes, Dr. Clark, you definitely need to revisit Parade and Under the Cherry Moon. These are like both amazing masterpieces that I never tire. I think we were talking about earlier of when something comes on, like if Under the Cherry Moon came on, I would be watching it like I had never watched it before because it's just so amazing. But Kim says, but Madhouse is on Paisley Park Records, even though it was distributed by.
And who puts out?
Yes, it was distributed by Warner Brothers.
Where the money go?
Yes.
That's where the money go.
Yep. Okay. All right. So, Michael Dean, do you mind reading the next date, which is Thursday, November 21st? It's super short.
Yeah.
Everybody's a gangster till they got to read. That was me. Sorry. That was for me.
November 21st?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a line. Today was the end of principal photography for Under the Cherry Moon, and a rap party was held at Legrand something or other in Nice, France. Man, I'm tired.
Dad, you don't speak French? I don't.
I speak French toast.
Parlez-vous français?
French bread.
Probably want a cracker.
Oh my God. Okay, so I got some photos, more Under the Cherry Moon photos. Actually, I have more, but I forgot to add them, so I'll add them next week, even though we're technically finished with principal photography. I don't know why, but I never think of this jacket as a Christopher Tracy jacket, even though he wears it in the film, because it's so tied to me to Parade. So whenever I see this jacket, I think of Prince, Parade. I never think of Under Cherry Moon, but it's in the film, especially when they're having their lunch and the bats come and they start running out and all of that. That's where he actually wears it. But I've always loved this jacket. And he even wears this jacket during Love Sexy, which really just like blows my mind, because I was like, no, that's Parade Prince. Why are you wearing the Parade jacket? Love Sexy Prince. That was such a, I guess, a like consistency snob that I was. I love this photo. I love like candid photos like this, like when they're not studio shots, just to see how he's in the world, the people who are around him and all of that. Love the shot. He's popping his collar. He's looking like, I don't know, just so cool here. And I really wish I knew who was behind him. And maybe I can't really tell. This is another amazing shot with the shades and everything. And love, 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 love. Yeah.
That would have been a cool album cover. Like,
Yeah, that's dope.
Different level.
Yeah.
I'm balling. All the bags in the back seat. Like, I mean, yeah, I'm balling. Literally, I'm on the porch overseas on you niggas. Man, come on. For instance, clown.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm rich.
Yeah. I made it. Hilarious.
See, got this is another one.
Oh man, with the red, that was red joint.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, that movie gonna be something different in color.
Yeah, it really is.
Very different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another shot.
Yeah, it just seems totally different to me when you see it like this. Like, damn.
Yeah.
And we got to remember too. We do remember. I mean, it was such a drastic change of his image.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
The short hair was the thing that like was the shocker for me.
yeah.
For me, it was the attitude. I mean, I kind of knew he was funny, but like just from like the rehearsal tapes and stuff. But I never thought that he would have had that in the public, because I was kind of used to him not talking or being very quiet, like in Purple Rain and all that. So that really stood out to me. Now,
what were your thoughts on that? I'm sorry to cut you off. The interview he did for MTV. You remember that?
Yeah, we've been talking about it.
What were your thoughts on that? I looking back, I'm like, dang, this is hecka corny. You know what I mean? It was cool then, but it was like Prince, you was just you was like a ham sandwich, bruh.
Hilarious.
But that's who he is, though. I mean, sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it was over the top. But I mean, of course, back then he could do no wrong.
Well, I mean, so technically that interview happened last week in 1985. So we've talked about it a couple times. And for me, and like the first time we talked about it, I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it might have been you, Michael. You know, some people were saying that it's not really an interview because, you know, because all of the, he basically probably wrote the questions himself. And then he had his manager, Steve Fargnoli, you know, ask him these questions. But for me, in context, in real time, because Prince hadn't spoken in so long and not that candidly, I thought it was the best thing since sliced bread, to be honest. Like, I thought it was amazing. And I loved just how I didn't see it corny then. And I still don't see it as corny. I just feel like he was in Christopher Tracy mode. And he, I don't know, you know, like he was like that all the time. There's this footage, I want to say from Love Sexy, when he says, and he's in the audience watching the band perform, and he goes, "Spotlight on the shoes." Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then he just does his bike like Like, what is that? You know? So I think that was part of his personality. So I don't see it as corny, you know, like, because like the whole cufflinks, you know, anytime I think of that interview, the first thing I think about is cufflinks like this cost money. That's like, that's when and because it's true. And you wouldn't get, you know, so like we with the Little Red Corvette Prince, we got blue jeans. We would never see Prince in blue jeans again after Little Red Corvette. And it would be all tailored and all of that. And then after the height of Purple Rain, he would have never been able to make Under the Cherry Moon without Purple Rain. So I am grateful for the success of Purple Rain just so we can get Under the Cherry Moon, because otherwise it wouldn't have happened.
I was, you know, my thing about it, I'm like you in real time, loved it. Like I was just like, yo, what? He's talking, you know, because it was to me, it was such a drastic image change, not just visually, but his persona of how he presented himself. He was talking. Like before that, he never really spoke, and let alone smile. And go ahead.
Well, listen. When I say corny, I'm tongue in cheek there. I was like you guys. It was the best thing since sliced bread. But the whole 80s had its, you know, its thing where you look back and be like, were we really like that? You know what I'm saying? But it's not a criticism. But definitely that era, as people are, it's cool, but it's not, you know, the polish isn't there just yet. And that's evident as we look back, but that's evident in most things that all of us do, right? I mean, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I look back and say, God damn, boy, what was you thinking when you said that? That's probably how I'm gonna look when I go back and watch this again.
Hilarious. Well, you know what I'm gonna do, because you came on here and jumped on the sword of Orion. We're gonna give you some grace on that one. And I'm gonna say, I hear you. I hear what you're saying.
Michael D.
I hear what you're saying.
Come here, baby. Hold us all together.
Because of that, we're gonna give you some grace tonight.
Oh my God.
And just real quick, I was gonna, you know, just say, so yeah, back then loved it. I don't think it's corny, but I do know, I know what you're saying though. I think now the way I look at it though, it is I really get to see like Prince was super dialed in and super like deliberate with the way he presented himself to us. And I didn't know that back then. I didn't know he was that type of person, you know. So looking back at it now, I can see how everything was, not only was his rehearsals super structured. I mean, the show was super structured because they practiced so much that they could do it not even thinking about it. His presentation to us was super meticulous, and I can see how he wanted to change the perception of him. And doing that interview was certainly the attempt to present Prince in a different light than what we had seen from him up until that point. I think it's curious. It's interesting too, though, after whatever happens with this era here, he doesn't act like that in the press again for a while. You know, Sign of the Times Prince was not doing this. He wasn't, you know, with my hands, Martha, and, you know, he wasn't letting you see him really be probably closer to who he really might be at times. He went back to the stoic Prince before, you know, he's not on the cover of People magazine. You know what I'm saying? That was a different, I mean, that's a fascinating Prince, but he went back to a different Prince. And then years later, you see that character of Prince sort of come out again, I think, when he's more comfortable or whatever the situations were in his career. But it's just interesting to see, like, yeah, he was that tapped in to how he was being presented, where he like, oh, you know what? I need to be this way now. You know, they need to see me joking and interacting with people to seem normal. And then we have to remember too, and I'm gonna stop talking. This was a response to the controversy with Big Chick. National Enquirer article is kind of why he did this interview, and then the backlash from the We Are the World situation. So he had to do something, and in his mind was, yo, I'm going to humanize myself to these people. You know, That's my thought.
That's a really good point, Michael. And I also just want to spotlight, because I agree with this, and because I was this. We were so young then. Everything Prince did, I took at face value. I picked up whatever he put down as gospel. So did I. All right. So one thing I was wrong. There's also Prince and jeans for Sign of the Times, like with the jean jacket and jeans. That really threw me off. Like I still, anytime I see the Sign of the Times jean jacket, I go like, I don't get it. I mean, Arthur said, he was trying to relate to just the common man, by saying that he's one of us by wearing the jeans, but it was just like, I don't understand. All right. So
I'm sorry. One last thing. And this is what I did in real time. The kiss jacket, as we call it.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one who kind of thought that's kind of like the Beat It jacket? With the thing on the thing on there. I thought it was like, this is sort of his response to like, yo, I'm gonna come fly with a big leather jacket style. That's what I thought back then.
I didn't think that, but somebody put in the comments earlier that it was his version of the 8-ball jacket. You guys remember those?
Hilarious.
I can't remember who it was, but somebody said that earlier in the chat.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I just want to give thanks to An for sending this to me. And because we have been talking about like this fuchsia magenta color last week. And also I would have never known that those doors that she comes out of are green. So that was really interesting to see. This dress is gorgeous. It doesn't really translate in the film as this luxurious. But remember last week we talked about Christopher Tracy and this hot fuchsia lounge set, and then we also talked about how we didn't even know that this was the outfit on the Come record. So Prince was really into this color at this particular time. All right.
Tanja, you had an 8-ball jacket? Hilarious. That's why I like
it. You mean you didn't? You mean you didn't, Michael Dean?
No, because where I was from, 8-ball jackets meant something. I guess must have meant something different.
No,
from where y'all was wearing, because you had an 8-ball jacket, right? That means you was involved in some other stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't afford no 8-ball jacket. I couldn't afford the Beat It jacket neither.
Oh my God. Yeah, a lot of people at my high school actually had the Beat It jacket. And what's really interesting though, like when Prince, or rather, Louis and Vaughn had their purple wear at merry-go-round, I never saw anyone at my high school wear any of that, but I definitely saw a lot of the Beat It jackets in particular.
Yeah, at LTKK, the dope man thing. That's where 8-ball jackets meant where I was from. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I want to just really quickly read a little bit of this article from Teen Beat. I wonder if anybody remembers Teen Beat from the 80s. And it says, while filming Under the Cherry Moon abroad, His Majesty is conquering many more local subjects. So one in the on the left, it says, in Under the Cherry Moon, Prince captures images of the suave, debonair Casanova made popular in the old black and white romance movies. Here, Prince strolls down the Boulevard de la Croisette. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then the caption underneath the picture to the right, which is one of my favorite outfits. This is when, he goes through the flowers and the kids, you have jobs, and So the Rudolph Valentino Eat Your Heart Out is one of the captions. And then it reads, it's taking many moons for Prince's new flick Under the Cherry Moon to be completed, but you can be sure that it will be great when it's done because Prince won't let you down. That's right. He's hoping to recapture the excitement caused by Purple Rain, which grossed a whopping $70 million in the 80s. Prince has been filming Cherry Moon since last September, and France hasn't been the same since he's been there. First, Prince caused quite a stir while filming on the boulevard. A mammoth traffic jam ensued when tourists and fans tried to snap him in action, but Prince's burly bodyguard was blocking all the fences. Then in Nice, Prince took some time off to tape a 5-minute and 20-minute video of America, the third single from Around the World in a Day. 2,000 lucky fans. We already read about that. It hasn't exactly been smooth sailing on the, I don't know how to pronounce that. So the caption on the left side is Prince looks content filming on Cher Moon in Nice, France. Then the one on the top right is rumored Prince wanted Madonna for his leading lady. He didn't get her, but we're sure onlookers didn't mind seeing his belly button instead. And then the one underneath is one of the pictures we looked at last time, which was a makeup artist and hairstylist, Earl Jones, worked to get that special look. So I always like to see and read how people were thinking about Prince, and particularly under Cherry Moon back in the 80s in real time. So there's one.
Can I have just what they say, a hot take, I guess?
Yeah.
Purple, Under the Cherry Moon, that movie, I think it would have been a smash hit if it had just been in color. That would, I think, changed a big perception of it off the gate to just regular people. And they just leaned into the Christopher Tracy, tricky, dynamic, maybe toned down a little bit of the eccentric sort of kind of romance thing a little bit, and just dialed into the characters that they really were, you know, brothers from overseas coming over there having a good time. And it just been a wacky hood adventure, and, you know, with funky ass music and a couple of performances in the movie, I think would have, you can see, I mean, just looking at it and listening to it, you can see why this should have been a smash hit. Like it could have, it is Prince, you know. I just think there was just the expectations and the way that it finally came out. But this should have blew up, man. Looking at how the colors that he has on and everything they got doing as they're making it, you can see like, yo, this is supposed to look fabulous. You know, this is going to be some shit, you know. But it's just, I think when you take the color out, it gives it a connotation of, oh, this is going to be on some high art. You got to be serious. And I don't think that's what the general public sort of expected to see from him. And whether or not it's not, I'm not saying what he did isn't good. I'm just saying like he would have just leaned into that.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100% there, but I'm also glad that it is what it is, and it was what it was. You know, that time, you know, Purple Rain is, you know, massive. Around the World in a Day comes out after that, which is very, very different. And then, like, out of nowhere, another record in this whole project comes out, and it is extremely different. I'm glad it wasn't, you know, looking back again, because it feels like it, you know, it's just so special for people who are like really into it. You know what I mean? Right. It's like one of those, you know, you'll get it when you get it type of things. You know what I mean? But I think you're right though. It would have been bigger.
You kind of see the intention that it, I mean, obviously you can look in terms of his mind. I'm speculating, but the way he's presenting himself is so entirely different than what we've gotten before. And it's almost like, I'm not going to be, you know, he's like opening himself up, probably anticipating, yeah, they're going to love this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm giving my all to this now. I'm actually going to speak and be joking around. Like he's sort of breaking his own fourth wall of his Prince myth to show us a whole, you know what I mean? So I can kind of maybe think like, okay, I can see the success of how they perceived Morris in my movie with Jerome. What if we just did a whole movie like that? That's my humor anyway. That's really my persona, right? What if I show them that? And then if I show them that, and of course the music and everything is gonna be bomb, I'm gonna look good. They ain't wait till they get a look at me, right? Because they ain't seen me like this. So I can see how they was like, yeah, this is gonna kill the game.
Did you guys see that movie was like Boys Club or something like that? It had Morris Day and Jerome in it, and they were like basketball scouts or something. It's oddball.
I've never seen that. I saw a clip of that recently, like a month ago, surfaced or something.
Yeah, I caught a look. You know, I mean, maybe there's just some bag chase in there as well. Like, hey, look, let's go out there and see. I mean, I don't know. That was
she's got to have it in a whole different That's not even the same ballpark to me.
That was a
That's-
strange flick.
Yeah,
Say it
that
again?
was.
Not
was a
She's Gotta
strange-
Have It. I'm thinking about Girl 6. My bad.
Oh,
What did you say about Girl 6?
Somebody mentioned She's Gotta Have It with Spike Lee, and I was in my mind for some reason conflated that with Girl 6.
But what
My-
did you say? Because you said something. I didn't hear it. I just wanted to know what you
Oh,
said.
I
You
was
wanna
just,
get-
I was just
woo,
saying
yeah.
that Girl 6 was an odd movie.
Oh, okay.
What did I miss? What did I miss?
Woo! No, she's like, no. Fix your mouth to say how you said it. Say that one more time. Woo!
I thought I said something wrong.
That's a black mama came, boy.
I ain't hear what you said.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
okay. I got it now.
Let me
Okay.
leave, girl. Remember, Michael, don't ever say nothing about Girl 6. Yeah.
See, I missed that whole thing. Is there a Girl 6 thing?
That's what I'm wondering. It must be.
I mean, I love Girl 6. I think Girl 6 is an underrated film. One, I mean, I think Teresa Randall, who is the lead in that film, who is also Will Smith's wife in the Bad Boys series, at least the first couple ones. She's a phenomenal actress, and I
Yes.
really loved that film, and I don't know why it just doesn't get a lot of love. I mean, one that, obviously the entire soundtrack was Prince. That Prince even allowed that was pretty phenomenal. That Spike actually used all of it, like throughout the entire thing, was also amazing. And it's not a lighthearted film. Like, I don't want to I want to watch Girl 6 today, because you have to be in a certain mood to want to watch it, because it's kind of depressing in the same way that I love Mahogany in the film, but I don't like watching Mahogany because I know it's gonna bring me down. But it's something special about that Girl 6 film, and I don't think it gets enough love. That's just me.
I gotta see it again. I haven't seen it since I saw it in the theater when it came out.
Somebody
But
just
I
invoked the
remember it
name of
wasn't.
Father MC.
Yeah, she was married to him. I pray for her right now, because I know in the last few years she's been going through it. But
Yeah.
I just think that movie, like you said, it wasn't. You didn't walk out of that movie like, yeah, I want to. It was a dark movie. I think it might have been the early kind of dark Spike Lee movie where I think it was a sort of a turn in how his movies were perceived a little bit after that. But the soundtrack's fantastic, of course.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I don't understand how Girl 6 relates to Arms of Orion. Am I missing something? I don't understand.
I'm just trying to get at Ted.
I didn't say. And fun fact, I still have this cousin, and she was a phone sex operator for a while, which I always thought was funny. This is true. Michael Dean, I see
I'm
your
just putting
eyes.
a business out there. But
I mean, look, she, anyways. I mean, I didn't like her. I don't remember it that well. I do remember leaving the theater. I went to see it in Berkeley, and I was just like, that was different.
That was the first Spike one that I wasn't all gun ho about, if I remember correctly.
Now, I'm curious. Are you guys were in real time? Was it about this because it was female centric?
What
I thought she was fine as hell. I was
okay.
I mean, that's what I was like. Wasn't there the scene where they do and they play the Prince song, Pink Cashmere? That's the scene I always remember in my mind. She's
what year
doing
did that come out?
Phone sex thing.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't
95, 94.
Listen, man, some of that stuff,
1996.
Listen, I'm thinking about the stuff. I was living my best worst life in 96.
Okay.
I mean, I might, some of that stuff could be influenced.
Yeah.
Where I was at.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, isn't this the movie? The first, I don't know if it's the first movie. Isn't Anthony Mackie's in this, right? It's like his early.
No.
Oh no, that's She Hate Me.
Yeah, that's She Hate Me. Yeah.
Never mind. I'm getting these two movies confused. Never mind.
Yeah. Isaiah Washington is in this for a hot second.
Okay. Isn't Madonna in this? Madonna's in Girl 6. She
Yeah,
played me
yeah, yeah. Madonna, Debbie Mazar. If you ever, because I don't know why. Whenever I think of Madonna, also,
Girl, sex.
Debbie Mazar, those eyes.
yeah, those are exactly
Those
Ted.
eyes,
Those
yeah.
eyes. You cannot forget those eyes.
Those.
I love this. Okay, Celine's in the chat saying, "Honey, I'll snap the waves out of your head if you say something."
Okay.
Right? That's right, Celine.
Yeah, man. Somebody make a little clip of that. What did you say? No. Say that again. I'm like, "Oh,
I gotta
we
stay
don't
on
like
Seeley's
you
good
ways."
side because Seeley backs me up when I said something controversial. Well, he doesn't necessarily back me up, but he doesn't make me feel like I need to go like jump off a bridge.
Oh my God. Yes, and Halle Berry was also in Girl 6.
Oh, okay.
I need to watch Girl 6. I don't like, I love the film, but I don't like watching it because it just brings my whole vibe down.
With the ether beat. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Since we were talking about Under the Cherry Moon and like hot take, stop, Mike.
It'd be the times that D'Angelo don't be playing. Like you see the different side come out sometimes. It's hilarious.
Dun, dun, dun.
Where her husband at? Because he's like, nah, you don't know.
Y'all see the internet side.
Yeah,
I know what's really going on.
He's like right off the camera too, like waiting for her to say,
"What you say? What you say? Tell me more about that."
Okay.
Hand me that 12-inch of the. You always wonder how she get all this. He's standing right there.
She spoke to me. She spoke to me. That's the joint.
Yeah, she spoke to me. It's amazing. I am so glad that you said that because I had all my vinyl today and I did not pull it out. So I'm going to do it really quickly.
You got him under the table this time?
Yeah. So we
You're
got
your husband.
No. Madhouse. Michael, you got jokes today.
Okay. I'm sorry.
We got Madhouse 10. And I always love the back covers.
Oh, wow. Who signed that?
As do I.
Manisa.
What?
Yeah, I got and the reason why I'm doing this is actually for myself because I didn't realize I actually have 2 signed copies from
What?
Manisa of 13. Yes, and then obviously
Manisa, can I send my stuff to you? Can you sign mine, please? Damn, come on.
And then the back of actual 16, which is a nice.
Wow.
Love the back covers. I just love the whole design of Madhouse with like the gold border. And beautiful. The other thing I wanted to show because I haven't gotten my Around the Rolling Day Deluxe edition yet, but I saw someone do like an opening, like a box opening video. And what's really cool is that the Deluxe has the flap.
I don't remember the flap. That was on the original?
This is my original copy that I got from Turtles.
I don't remember.
The only thing that's missing to me is the sticker with the little boy.
Yeah.
This is original.
Yeah. The special edition one is like, was it like some aluminum or something?
Yeah, it's like the Purple Rain, like the Purple Rain Deluxe with the aluminum. I didn't know about that. But not only does the album have the flap, but also the CD. The CD Deluxe also has like a little flap, so it's almost like a reproduction of the album flap, which is really cool.
Right on.
So going back to Under the Cherry Moon, I agree with you, Michael, that it would have done much better if it would have been in color. I think also we've already spoken to this, but I'm going to speak to it again because someone put in the chat, El Michelle says, I don't think that Christopher Tracy and Mary Sharon had chemistry. And I know that they weren't supposed to have chemistry in the beginning because that was it. You know, it was oil and water. But when they did come together, I didn't believe it. And I really wish that someone else would have been cast in that role. Yeah. But I think a couple things that you said, Michael, really stood out. One is the public was not used to Prince being funny. And because it was in black and white and it appeared to be high art and it appeared to be that we were supposed to take it seriously, they didn't get the jokes. Like it was just like a disconnect for them. Only Prince fans who had been listening to the rehearsals would understand that, or you saw, you know, like maybe the MTV interview and all of that. So I think that if it would have been in color, if they would have had someone else play the role of Mary Sharon, and it had more music in it, like you said, and someone in the chat had put in, I think it was Chris Bournet. Oh no, Montanair said that if they would have put the Girls and Boys video inside of the movie, you know, with like the Revolution being a house band at a party, that also might have helped just because of the popularity of Purple Rain at the time. So there's several things that they could have done. And also, but I think the biggest thing, Michael, and Love Sexy 71 said that, is that the movie premiere being in Wyoming, Sheridan, Wyoming, really hurt this film, in my personal opinion. I hated that this premiere was in Sheridan, Wyoming. It made a joke of it. I don't know. I just really hated that happened. And I think it was a setup. I still, to this day, I think it's a setup. And even if they pulled it out of a hat or whatever however they made that decision, they could have, no one would have known. They could have pulled another name. Like, why would you have this in Sheridan, Wyoming? And I'm sure I'm going to have someone from Sheridan, Wyoming come after me, but I'm sorry. I think it should have been like a major city. So
yeah, well, on one hand, I guess I can respect that they kept it honest, like, because you're right, they could have easily said, no, let's just make sure somebody out of New York or LA.
Well, I don't know.
So much money riding on this. My thing is that I don't think Warner Brothers Pictures is playing any games because it's such a huge financial commitment to them. They're not getting any of the movie money. That's Warner Brothers, the other Warner Brothers. So I don't think they would play around with that personally. I don't think they win anything to sabotage their own artists in 1985. Now, if you'd have said this was years later when it got crazy, but I don't think there's no reason for them to think that this would not be another Purple Rain smash.
Well, there is. So there's go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So there's this book called Michael Jackson and Me. I think I'm saying it right. By Howard Bloom, who was Prince's publicist at the time. And he was also like a publicist for Michael Jackson, Billy Idol, all these people. And in this book, he says that there was a screening of Under the Cherry Moon, and it was like 600 like teenage girls, and Christopher Tracy lived in this particular screening, and that the screening went really well, meaning like the audience was happy, Warner Brothers was happy, and it turned out that Prince wanted Christopher Tracy to die. Like, he always wanted Christopher Tracy to die. He would not budge. And because it had tested so well with the happy ending, you know, like Christopher Tracy gets the girl, you know, they live happily ever after, there could be a little saltiness in that Prince, you know, really stood his ground and had Christopher Tracy die, because, you know, like they had spent all this money and they wanted it to go a certain way. So I don't know, I could be wrong, but I thought that was really interesting in that book, where he talks about
if I can believe that the higher levels would be that petty to tank their own money, yeah, but I don't know. It seemed a little wild to me.
Okay, all right.
But so not to say it doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, I hear you. All right, so really quickly, because Ted is really here for something else, so I just want
an hour and 20 minutes in it.
I'm here for all this. I love y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you really?
No.
Okay.
No,
all right.
I love y'all for real.
Okay.
Damn, what just happened right there?
I really appreciate it.
Sorry.
We're almost done. I just have a couple more things. One more reading and some more photos. I mean, actually 2 more readings. And okay, so I'll read this really quickly. Prince prances out on his film fans. Potty star Prince is proving to be the purple pain of the movie world. As filming gets underway on his new movie, Under the Cherry Moon, the American rocker star has surrounded himself with a posse of minders, insisted on being moved from a luxury hotel after he was found by fans, fled to a top secret remote villa so that he can stay out of the limelight. Prince flew to Nice in the south of France and worked to work with stars Terrence Stamp and Victor Spinetti on the movie, which is a modern love story. It is being filmed at the Victorine Studios, Nice, and on location. For the first day's shooting, Prince demanded his guards were supported by French police to keep the crowds back. But filming was constantly interrupted by the huge crowds pushing forward, trying to get a glimpse of the action. After some of his followers found out which hotel he was staying at, Prince demanded he was moved to a luxury hush-hush villa. A film insider says only a handful of top executives know where Prince is staying. He has refused to make his address known. If anybody wants him, they have to wait until he calls us. And the byline of the caption of the photo is Prince with his new sleek look that Ted was talking about.
One other quick thing on this, and I'm Team Arms with Ryan. That's one. But going back to somebody said something about interracial couple.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that? I think that too plays into the perception of that movie at the time, and I would say that in terms of maybe some of the original fans of Prince, women, at least like my cousin, I know, for instance, that was kind of when she was kind of like, you know, they wanted to see a black woman up there, or somebody at least they thought was a person of color or something. I think that played into it too. But I can understand. I guess they would be like, well, the storyline is that he meets some rich. I guess they could argue, well, sister can't be a rich black woman in that situation. But because I could see easily, like a Sheila E. would have been great. You know, in terms of just how they all have the same little thing going on in a part of the world, and you know, okay, our album's going to be coming out or whatever. I don't know if it was, but you know, or somebody said Vanity or shit, even Jill Jones. You know, has acting chops, but did Prince and them have the acting chops either? So I don't know, but again, speculating. It worked the way they did it. But.
Yeah. We could say more, but just for the sake of time, we're going to go and who wants to read about the Girls and Boys video?
Girls and Boys.
Yeah.
Which one is this? Is it the Friday?
Yeah, Friday, November 22nd.
All right. Music videos for whoa, wait a minute. Music videos for Love or Money, Kiss, and Girls and Boys were scheduled to be shot at the studio de la
Victorine.
I like Victorine. True Victorine.
Not a wrong. You beat me to it.
In Nice, France, Love or Money was to include the full band playing the song with a checkered black and white background, with Prince performing on the dance risers similar to what he'd used on the American Music Awards. Wow. Kiss would comprise footage of Dr. Fink and Brown Mark by a pool, Bobby Z in bed, and Lisa standing by the shore with a cape blowing in the wind, and an additional part that looked like she was an element of a painting. Wendy would be seen in a bubble bath, as well as playing guitar while Prince sang. What? Okay, that'd be interesting. Almost makes me think of the Family videos or something. Both tracks were to be filmed in black and white, but only Girls and Boys was actually shot. Photographs of some of these situations were taken by Jeff Katz and can be found in the artwork for Parade. All of the effort appears to have been put into the video for Girls and Boys. Because of the breakup of the family, what would have normally been an event with the Revolution had expanded to include Eric Leeds, Miko Weaver, Jerome Benton, Wally Safford, and Greg Brooks. Susanna Melvoin was also in the video. With the additional filming finished, just about everyone was scheduled to fly home to Minneapolis in the next day or two, so Prince invited them to dinner after the video shoot. And I can't remember if he said the wrapping of the movie had already happened by this point or not.
Yes, it had the day before.
Which one must tell me then too, which is interesting, that if they were thinking that this was going to be in black and white for these music videos, I wonder, did he have in his mind at that time, we're going to make the movie black and white, or did that come after this? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
because them shooting it don't look like it was obvious in their mind. It was just going to be black and white while they were shooting it, not with all that colors going on. But I could be wrong too. I don't know.
Yeah, that is, what we continue to debate. So I want to show this really quickly for a couple of reasons. This is the call sheet for the Girls and Boys video, and you can see that the producers are Cavallo, Ruffalo, Fargnoli, and all of that. And you can see all the people like Prince, Jerome, Wendy, Lisa, Mark Brown, Matt Fink, Bobby Z, Eric Leeds, Wally Safford, Greg, Miko. And then the dancer in Girls and Boys is Alexa Fioroni. So I always I think Alexa de Paris is actually named after her. I could be wrong, but I think I remember reading that. But what's interesting about this, at the very bottom, it says extra/silent bits. That's 100 guests to include Blacks and younger people. So I thought that was really interesting that they had to actually have to be that specific that they needed Black.
You said they had the Blacks?
Yes. So it's very interesting. So we're going to move past this. Okay. So these are, Alexa, the dancer, is also Steve Fargnoli's niece. I forgot about that. Okay. So these are Polaroids that were taken, and they were auctioned off a couple of years back. And this is Susanna's dress. And remember, we looked at this when Mr. Terry joined us for the Erotic City 4D Symposium, because this dress is actually designed by Lewis and Vaughn. So again, that's the dress Susanna was in. And actually, I remember when we did the keynote for Pop Life earlier this year, Susanna loves this dress because she mentioned it this year when we interviewed her for Pop Life 40. So it's a beautiful dress. And I just want to, if everyone could go and hit the like button. This video hasn't gone to 1,000 views, and Mr. Von Terry deserves at least 1,000 views. So if you can just go and it's in the accompanying playlist. That's all the way at the bottom of my YouTube page. I would really appreciate it, because Lewis and Vaughn, they really need to be recognized for the amazing work that they did. And if you were there in real time, you know how important and how just hilarious this whole conversation was and how generous he was. So, he is just as much as of Prince's legacy as anybody else. So I really appreciate any help with that. Here's some more Polaroids. We got Lisa, and then we got Dr. Fink. It's so weird seeing Dr. Fink not in his scrubs. And then
they took pictures funny back then. They're like, what?
Yeah, it's like there's this photographer. His name is Gary Winogrand. He used to take photos like this, so I don't mind it so much. Then this is Wendy. It's so fun. Wendy? Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. It's so funny seeing her into it, in terms of the poses and things. It's really great. And seeing her smile. And then we got Mr. Brown Mark.
Oh, player. Look at OG.
Yes. I love.
And man, this is the I just want my young folks to see the 80s. See it, black then brothers could get away. You got the whatever that is they wear on the eye. You can do that today for sure, but there was no question. Like this was the get down back then. Like you was cold back then if you could do that. Look at the shoes, the black shoes with the white. Man, come on, with the crease.
The crease, yes. Yeah. I totally missed the crease. And then we got Greg over to the right. And then we got,
and it's such a different style from Prince and the Revolution, Purple Rain. Like this is something different. We on some different. Everybody's suited and booted or extravagance.
Yes,
you gotta love it.
And then we got Mr. Eric Leeds looking so cool.
Player.
And you can see Susanna in the back with the dress, like right behind him. And then that's Jerome to the right. I don't know if who he's with. Like, I don't know if that's like Dr. Fink's mom or somebody. I don't know who that is. But yeah, I love this comment, Karan, white tux, brown mark. That's right. Oh, I love this dude, guy liner.
I love it.
And then this is Miko.
Whoa. You came like that on him?
Yeah.
Look like homecoming.
My man.
As you can see, that's the back of Miko on the right. So he has the tails and everything. So it's pretty funny. Love this picture. This is when Prince is sitting down and seeing it in color. It gives it a different feel. This is a shot from the film. This is an amazing photo by Jeff Katz during that performance, Girls and Boys performance in the film versus the video. This is
man, they came in like some baddies. Like when you in the video first, I was like, ooh, yeah, look at it. And I didn't even know who Susanna was at the time. I was just like, she looked just like she was bad. Woo. Yeah, they came in like some bad. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yes. And then I love this shot from Jeff Katz. This is when Mary Sharon's father comes in and stops party. And then this is from the video.
I get it. Yeah, Prince was a cold one. He had the twins thing early.
Well, he's a Gemini and his mom was a twin.
Yeah. Well, I'm talking about he could have had twin dudes. And he had Addie twin. Yeah, that's a thing. Like this.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes. 1930. Yes. The party pooper.
And I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. This is 1985. This is a black man with two baddie twins, white girls.
Yes, in context of the 80s.
Back then,
that was something.
Prince, I see what you're doing.
And I love the shot. Look at that guitar. It's like beautiful with the paisleys. I know you guys are looking at other stuff, but I'm looking at the guitar.
Oh yeah, take it all in. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's a cold picture right there.
Love this. This is one of my favorite photos.
I'm messing around and make that a poster.
Ooh. Yeah, it's beautiful. It really is. I love the glamour, the 30s glamour that they got going on. And I love how Wendy is in focus and Susanna's out of focus. It's just so amazing. And
it's the pouts for me.
Say it again?
It's the pouties. The pout.
Yes. Like, don't talk to me.
And they're actual real sisters. Like you can really, it's just a lot going on there, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
I love the facial structure, melbone, I mean, all that, man.
Yeah, it really is.
Sound like you got it tight, Michael Dean.
Hey, I just recognize beauty.
No judgment, brother.
All right, let's get to the ending of the video, which is always hilarious. I love ensemble photos and ensemble films. So I grew up watching a lot of kung fu films. So I always love the kung fu posses, when there was a band of gypsies or whatever, and seeing them all together in the shot is just so amazing. Seeing all their different personalities and
this is a fantastic picture, actually.
Yeah, it really is.
Look at Brooks and was that Bobby's?
Yeah.
This is so many. Everyone's got something going on.
Yeah, and Dr. Fink looking really cool. It looks like he got a scarf or something and got it the vampire collar action happening. So
that's interesting. If you just okay, take a Dirty Mind Revolution picture, and then many years later, this is what it evolved into. This is wow, it is such a contrast between the spray painted thing on the back and sort of the early 80s sort of fashions, and now everyone's a little older, there's a lot more money in the game, it's super successful, there's more people involved, people from that was just security guards, now they're with the band. It's interesting.
I think that's one of the cool things about Prince and the whole Prince universe that I see here that I don't see, and I didn't see it in Mike, was there's such distinct eras. I mean, maybe people who are big MJ fans. You know, D'Angelo, I saw last week. You said you just weren't a Michael Jackson fan, and but
I mean, I say that it's really important to understand that I literally did not listen to Michael Jackson unless he was on the radio. It's not like I didn't intentionally listen. I love some of the Jackson stuff,
Sure.
like before, like Heartbreak Hotel and all of that. But yeah, go ahead, Bus. I apologize.
No. I just you every record, every era, there's something different, and one of the things I love about Prince is, going back, especially Dirty Mind, when he kind of plants the freak flag in the ground at Dirty Mind, and to see this guy turn into this elder statesman of the game, you know what I mean? It's just a trip to watch. Yep. That's all.
All right. So I was hoping you were going to say some more because I was going to try to find really quickly. If you remember the cover of Prince, Wendy and Lisa on Rolling Stone, they actually had a very similar glamour look. So just do your Googles, as Michael Dean would say. It's a really beautiful cover.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was really, really great. Okay. So let's see where we are. Okay. Just really quickly. Oh, we are where we need to be. So the reason why Ted is joining us is because last week was Ted's birthday. So happy birthday, Ted!
Thank you.
Happy birthday. What you sitting at now?
Oh man, I'm officially at like, look, I'm gonna just say what I won't say. I know you're gonna turn that down. 55, man. 55.
55. All right.
Yes, I'm going to be 55 on Sunday, so I'm right behind you.
Nice. Your birthday's this month?
Happy birthday, early birthday again.
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody's turning 55.
Well, we are all in the same. Yeah, I hit 56, but I'm still in the same.
Hey, this is a good era to be in.
Yeah, and I got my first senior's meal. Took my younger daughter to Denny's. She wanted to go to Denny's, and bro, they had a 55 plus. Normally, I never looked. I was like, yo, you can get the 2 eggs, 2 pancakes, bacon sausages for $8.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. Looking for them discounts.
And they tried to, and the girl didn't believe me. They tried to overcharge me. I had to pull my ID when I paid for it. I said, no, take that off.
Yeah, take that
Get
off.
my discount.
We doing the thing.
Yeah, we are.
Thing. Here. Yeah.
All right. So because it was your birthday,
was it AARP?
Yes, sir.
AARP NPG.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right,
I love me some AARP. I've been reading AARP since my single digits. I don't know why. I always love the AARP, so much so that my mom and grandmother would say the AARP magazines for me when I was growing up, when I went to college. Look at that. Like, yes.
Oh, you got the
This ain't a gang. This is not a gang.
Oh, let me stop. Let me shut up.
Card carrying member. This is not a gang.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, Ted. So I'm curious, was this your first trip to Minneapolis? And 2, I know that you went to Paisley Park as well as the Purple Rain musical. So before you get into the Purple Rain musical, talk to us about your trip to Minneapolis and Paisley Park.
Man, let me tell you, I was so excited, like a kid. I was telling my friend, I kept saying, we on Prince Rogers Nelson Memorial Highway. You know where we at? We did all the things, man. We went to, I face plant. Maybe I'll post the video at some point. I face planted at the Minnesota River, going to purify myself in not Lake Minnetonka. Did all the. I was really impressed. Impressed is the wrong word, but Minneapolis loves them some Prince. And I was just kind of taking in everywhere. I went to eat, just seeing these nods to Prince. I'd never been to Paisley Park for various reasons. And then after he passed, I was like, what's the use? But, here we are. I was glad that they took away phones. So I was able to really soak in that experience. The tour guide was dope. I mean, a young woman who seemed to like really be knowledgeable and genuinely be into Prince. You know what I mean? There was another musician there because when we went in the studio with the Lindrum and the Telecaster and the Oberheim, me and this dude go, oh, you know, just this audible sound, and we would like checking out this Lindrum and checking out the modifications and whatnot, and everybody else is kind of focused on the tour, and they sang "Happy Birthday" to me in that studio, and then I had to turn around, and
that's a moment,
and I was like, and I was like, don't nobody sniffle, and then this one woman sniffled, and I was like, shit. She's like, I got some tissue. Wow. And then she pulled out some lavender tissue or whatever. I'm like, right. Oh, smoke together. No, I'm good. Just allergies. But it was a great experience all around. I wish I would have had the time to see some live music and actually go in First Avenue, but I didn't. And actually, one of my colleagues from
you didn't go to Bunkers either?
I didn't. I just didn't have time. It was a quick trip. But one of my colleagues from here in New Orleans was actually playing at 7th Street Entry, and I didn't get a chance to go see her either. Wow. Womp womp. Next time, maybe I'll be playing at Bunkers.
That's right.
So I'm gonna put that into existence put that out into the universe for 2026. Let's talk. Can we talk Purple Rain, the music?
Yeah, of course.
I have so many things.
Okay, I'm ready to hear this.
I have so many things.
So just a second. So last week we had Miles Marshall Lewis on, and he talked about his Purple Rain musical experience. So now we have Ted. So we're trying to get multiple people and their perspectives. So lay it on us.
Listen, man, it sounds, everything, well, not everything, but some things sound better on paper than they are in real life. It was ambitious. I think Chris Collins did his thing, as best he could. The star of the show was Rachel Webb, in my opinion. She was fantastic, but to that, the story seems to focus more on her than go ahead.
Let people know who Rachel Webb is.
Rachel Webb was Apollonia. From a musician's point of view, and a musician who spent a lot of time playing musical theater. The music was cool. I would have preferred a live band. I think Chris Collins played keys live. I was watching all the things. At least one of the drummer for the time, and we know that there's only one. I think that he was playing live because I'm really watching him. And I understand, I've done shows, like Cabaret where the band is on stage. That would have been dope. But the music, the arrangements and everything were cool.
So there's no live band.
No. And Chris, I understand him to be a proficient keyboard player. So I believe that he was playing. I think that there was a mixture. Of live and pre-recorded tracks. I don't think there was a band. I mean, I don't know. A lot of it sounded pre-recorded to me. Man, too many liberties taken with the story though. Too many liberties, particularly Morris Day. That got me.
Like how? Like which?
Now, first off, I don't want to be offensive to anyone with anything, but Morris was he was a clown. He was incredibly effeminate. Then with the whole dumpster, they make a point to have him roll out this dumpster and then have him sing Gigolos Get Lonely Too from the dumpster, which I'm like, I'm kind of shaking because it really bothered me. It really bothered me. We can't like neuter our characters. We shouldn't be. There's nothing wrong with the kid's got some misogynistic things. Both of these men are complicated in this movie, and they both have redemption in this movie. But Morris Day, you remember Cesar Romero as the Joker in the with Adam
TV
West.
series?
So the Morris Day character reminded me of that. But really, I mean, a lot of lisping and just like real feminine. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all, and it ticked me off, to be honest with you. I don't know if the gentleman that played Morris, if he really understood or understands who Morris Day is. Who were the people from the Revolution? It was just Bobby Z and
It was Bobby Z and Morris Hayes.
Yeah, I got some raised eyebrows about that. You know what I mean? I mean, people do what they do. I don't have any stake in that game, but I think they did the Revolution dirty. You know how they wrote the characters. Wendy was, in my opinion, kind of unlikable, a little over the top. Doc was like a stoner kind of dude. The time they were boring, uninterested. I mean, at some point I'm looking at these guys on stage as the time, and they just look like they were, like, man, when is this over? Now I'm being really critical about this, right? I'm not unhappy that I saw it. I mean, I was like, yeah, let's see how this turns out. You know what I mean? But it was super, it was ambitious. I just don't, I don't know if you could. There's a lot to put into 2.5, 3 hours, whatever it is, and then try to modernize the story, try to apologize for. That's what the dumpster felt like to me. Let's apologize for this scene in the movie, and I'm like, that's what it was. That was the scene in the movie. Even one of the most iconic scenes in the movie, the what's the password thing. They tried to kind of do that, and it fell completely flat. Like it was almost like it was an afterthought. It feels rushed. There's no this might sound silly, but there's no White Cloud guitar. At least I didn't see one. Michael, either one of you guys, what do you think that there's like a trademark issue or something like that, maybe with that?
Not that I know of, but I never even thought about this, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's not there. Also, when he does Purple Rain, and I said this in my review on my channel as well, but like, Purple Rain in the movie is the moment where he's kind of like laying it all bare, like, hey, look, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. He's doing that on stage. Well, in the play, he's done that before he does Purple Rain, which is kind of like this is out of order. He starts it on piano, and then at a certain point, he gets up. He's gonna mime the guitar solo, but it's just like really awkwardly staged, where he gets up and he kind of reaches around for the guitar like it's sort of an afterthought. It was clunky. It was clunky.
Was there anything that you liked about the show?
Rachel Webb was cool. Chris Collins, I wasn't mad at him being the lead. You know what I mean? I wasn't mad at that. It was parts of it were entertaining. Is it something I would spend money on again? Absolutely not.
Oh, so you wouldn't go see it again?
Oh no.
Even if it went to Broadway, meaning like that, hopefully that they would work out the kinks.
No.
And why is that?
No. You got to be, if you're going to be true to the story, if you're going to tell the story, be true to the story. You know what I mean? Don't try to like smooth out the rough edges of the kid's life and what the home life was like. You know, it's not a comedy. You know what I mean? And I think they tried to turn it into a comedy, and it isn't that. There's some, you know, dark, ugly bits about these people in this movie. I'm trying to read this. I missed that comment. Something about recreating the wheel.
You know, well, we'll let you go ahead.
I said it once, I said it again. The musical should had been about the Minneapolis sound, with them doing Purple Rain on stage. It's like, I mean, I think that would have done something different. I just wonder what plays are going on behind the scenes. What was the real reason for doing this? I don't think that this was something that needed to be done. You know what I mean? Like the Michael Jackson, I think like Michael Jackson, I know like the people in that fandom are kind of bugging out over who's playing him in the biopic that's coming out, which I think should be I think anybody could do Michael Jackson. I think Prince is such a unique, and this is the only word that comes to mind, delicate figure to you know, I just, this is something that's like, you know, do you need to do this? But it was my birthday. I saw it. I had fun. I had good company, all that stuff. I ran into DJ High Top from the Bay out there. And we both, you know, at intermission, we were both like, you know, well, what do you think? If you had to give it a letter grade, what would you give it? And the first thing out of my mouth was like, man, this Morris Day character is really bugging me. I mean, bugging me because Morris is our uncle, our older brothers, cats in the neighborhood. In the Black community, we all had, you know, I know I had, you know, a Morris or two in my life. And, you know, these people are, you know, they're not polished. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with somebody just wrote there, you know, he's playing the kid and not Prince. I mean, I get that. I definitely get that. And I went into it with that in mind, that he's playing the kid. And it's easy to say that, but we also see Prince. I mean, am I wrong? I mean, you know.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I haven't seen the play, so I'm not giving any sort of take on that. But from what you said and Miles from last week and things I've read, you know, I wonder if this is, and we talk about the changes that they've made to the play. You know, in my mind, I think about, well, if they had made a play about boys in the hood, I'm just using this as an example, and it depicts a time of, you know, gangbanging, a lot of dysfunction in the neighborhood. There's not, some of the people in the movie are not heroes, you know, Doughboy and all these other characters. And if they did a play and they felt like, you know what, let's change the tone of it. So don't make Ice Cube's characters such a this way, and let's change this character because that was just, you know, what he was doing in the movie was too negative, or we don't want to see our people like that. But I think we'll run the risk of watering down our stuff. And why are we doing that? Are we doing it because one, it would make more money if you think you can take that out and it's more palatable to regular people? Or I'm going to say this, in the case of Prince, I wonder if it's going to be the same situation that happened with that documentary, right? There's certain things that you're not comfortable with and you want it to be about this one thing. So let's use that same mind frame for this Purple Rain.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, and so I don't know, you know, it's a slippery slope, but it's already been it's already done happen with the major product. So I don't know. This is kind of like, to me, it almost looks like, is this what we're going to be doing with our stuff? You know, we want to make it so positive to certain things, we're willing to change. And again, this movie, Purple Rain, is not about Prince. It's about the kid. So I guess why would you change it, right? It's a movie. It's a fictional story. Sure. If they remade The Godfather, which I watched last night, would you think their community would be cool, the fans of that, if they made Michael Corleone less gangster?
Right.
And change certain things out of the movie? I don't know. That's a certain thing. I don't know if that's what we're doing with our art, but we have to be careful about.
Yeah,
that.
that's a problem, man. Like I played cabaret years ago, and I don't know if anybody's familiar with that story, but the band is on stage, and the antagonist interacts with the band, right? And it's dark. Cabaret is a dark show. And one time the guy came and he like rubbed me on my shoulder, and I felt his character. I'm like, don't do that again. But you know, like this is the story. This is the story, and everything wasn't pretty, and you know, in that story, there's some hard stuff in that story, and I think they went out of their way to make it into a comedy. I give it a good C plus. You know what I mean? Again, am I disappointed that I spent money on it? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, you go out and, you know, it was my birthday. Okay. So, you know, it's, you know, like the experience and all that. But they got some kinks they need to work out. And somebody's gotta have I think the kid talked too much. I think he talked too much, and I think he was very so I was okay. Now here's where I don't want to offend anybody, but I have to be honest about what I'm saying. I think when people cosplay as Prince, they go way over here with feminizing Prince. I'm like, yeah, you know, even when Prince is androgynous or whatever, this is a masculine dude. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to go all the way over there with Prince. And I was concerned that Chris Collins would do that, but I think he actually went all the way on the other side and was like, you know, so he was pretty unlikable for most of the first half. I say unlikable. I probably used that word a couple of times already, but you know, yes, it did erase some of the mystique. I mean, some of the lines were corny. I don't know if anybody remembers the holy water line, what they call spoiler alert, but C plus, man, C plus. Do better with Morris, and we got to do better overall with neutering our black
our story.
I'm talking. I'm really skating on thin ice right here, but our black male characters. We gotta stop that. And that has nothing at all to do, nothing with sexual orientation or gender identity or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. Morris Day is not a clown, and he wasn't a clown, and I really didn't. And I wonder what has anybody heard him say anything about this at all? Has anybody from the revolution, or I don't know.
I wonder. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like if he would have seen it, he would have said something. So it's possible that he hasn't seen it yet. I don't know, but I haven't been on social media and following the conversation myself, so I don't know. I mean,
you have no intention of seeing it. Is that correct?
I would take my mom to go see it. I mean, the thing is like, I think it's important. I mean, at first I was like, I mean, when it was first announced, I was like a musical, but then after seeing MJ and how amazing that was, because I had no intentions. I don't go to musical theater, first of all. And then, but after seeing MJ, I was like, oh, if they did something so inventive and cool for Prince, that would be fantastic. Because just like I was talking about Dancing with the Stars, I think it's really important that I call them non-Prince people, like people where Prince is just not in their vocabulary. They don't really listen to him or don't really know what he's about. Like for instance, I gave this talk earlier this week about Prince, and it was about Prince's complicated relationship with technology. And at the end of the talk, I asked people like what they got out of the talk, right? And one of the things that one of the people said was they did not and had no clue that Prince had recorded 38 albums in his lifetime. For me, I was like, okay, yay. I at least, I got one person to recognize that Prince as like he's prolific, he's a thought leader, he's visionary, like all of that. And so we think everybody knows all the stuff that we know, but they don't even know basic stuff. Like he recorded like amazing, like 38 amazing albums, and then like 22 plus for, his proteges, if you want to call them that. So I think this is a really great opportunity to show how, like to help with the legacy of Prince. I think I said this last week. I don't think MJ needs any help with his legacy. I think MJ is going to be known forever. I mean, just because his impact was different than Prince's. And I think that Prince is so misunderstood. And I think one of the reasons why is because of all of the presentation of Prince. So again, if you're, kind of talking about the androgyny, and like people just kind of look at Prince sometimes and go, like they don't get it. They don't understand it. And they totally miss the musicianship. And forget the musicianship, the songwriting. Do you know how many songs Prince has written, not just for him, but for other people? So for me, anything that can help get the masses, the non-Prince people, to recognize that Prince was one of the greatest musicians to ever lived, and in my opinion, the greatest musician who has ever lived, then we're doing something. So I do think this musical is important if it's done right.
Yeah, if it's Rick James, James Brown are two people that come to mind right off the bat. Rick James, for all his faults, is an important figure in Black American culture and Black American music. He
Absolutely.
is so much more than F Your Couch and I'm Rick James, right? James Brown is so much more than A Drunken Interview. Prince is so much more than Basketball and Pancakes. And when we do introduce these people to younger generations, look, I have a student of mine. She's got the symbol tattooed on her shoulder now. And my last year that I talked about this, where we did the Prince tribute, and I really talked to them about Prince and what he had done and who he was, and not just this clip, you know what I mean? And so for something like Purple Rain, D'Angelo, I think you're right. It is important to get that legacy piece out there, but be honest about it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I mean, I haven't read the New York Times review yet, and I actually haven't even read John Bream's, because I'm actually more interested in John Bream's take than I am than the New York Times, just because John Bream has been the person covering Prince the longest, and he's in Minneapolis, so he knows like what the word on the street is. But I hope that they can get it right. I mean, there's been, I think someone had put in here, what is it? Love Sexy 71 had asked if they would have called this Purple Rain or something else, would this play make better sense? But from your comments, I don't think it would, because you're pointing out that I said this last week, so I did see the preview, Ted, of the play, because they showed a preview in at Celebration in 2024, and Rachel Webb was there. Her voice was amazing.
Yeah, she's awesome.
There wasn't the kid even cast it yet, but they had a Jerome character, and the Jerome character, I was like, this is not good, because if Jerome sees this, it's going to be a problem, because the Jerome character was so buffoonish, and it was just not good at all.
Yep.
I was so focused on Jerome. I was so upset about the Jerome character. To be honest, I didn't really pay attention to anything else. So I don't even remember the Morris Day character from the preview. But it sounds like, based on what you're saying and also what Miles is saying, that they may have transferred some of the qualities that they had in this preview of Jerome to Morris's character. And someone put in the, I think, yeah, El Michelle had put in the chat, like, why didn't they ask Morris to serve as a consultant? Because I think that he is pretty much the co-lead of Purple Rain, as far as I'm concerned.
There got to be something else. There got to be something else going on behind. There's some other shenanigans going on behind the scenes, because I don't. It is a parody. I mean, and buffoonery. Like I get on here and joke around and stuff with y'all, and I feel comfortable with y'all. You know, people meet me out on the street, or like I don't like buffoonery. That cooning and buffooning, I don't like.
I know what you mean.
I don't like that, and that's what they did. And it's like if you had a family member, y'all might be able to relate to me on this right here. You know, you have a family member that acts a certain way behind closed doors, and they go out and they say, "Hey, listen, don't do that." You know what I mean? Don't do that. Don't say that. And if somebody else talks about him or whatever, you like, hey, that's not, you know what I mean? Somebody's supposed to be behind the scenes and say, we can't do this.
Yeah,
we cannot do this tomorrow. And it really makes me think too, man, there's not enough Black people in this space. There's not enough Black people in this space, and if they are, then they need a kick in the pants. Morris, yes, I think Morris should have been, however that works, a consultant on this, but Morris Day is not a clown. He wasn't a clown.
Of course.
Just in contrast to this, and you mentioned the young lady who plays Apollonia. From the outside looking in, it looks like they took her character a different way than not just the race, but is her character slightly different than she is portrayed in the movie? It seems like she's a stronger character in this.
She is a stronger character, and I don't have a problem with that either. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with her getting, we are in 2025, so I'm not saying that everything should just be stuck in the past. She is a stronger character. I mean, but it's more, it feels more about her quest for stardom and her, Minneapolis just kind of being a stop on the way to New York. It is a Purple Rain inspired story. It is not Purple Rain.
Yeah. So,
too, somebody mentioned the Rick James, and I've never heard a review of the Rick James stage play. I'm very curious to see how these stack between each other. Wasn't Stokely playing Rick James at a certain point? And I think too, I wonder too, Purple Rain, there's two ways to view Purple Rain. Is to view it as a Prince fan, and like that was an era of Prince. It was the album and the tour in the movie, but it was still a Prince thing. And then there may be the other side of it where you're not a Prince fan, but Purple Rain was just a cultural movie blockbuster moment. You know what I mean? And you just don't know anything about Prince, but you know the movie Purple Rain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I would still say, I wonder even if those people, how would they take to the changes of the things, regardless if they're Prince fans or not. But then I guess the other part is, this is a tricky thing because it was built, and the perception from the public and from fans is that there's some trueness to this story to some degree. Like, is this how he came up, or it's sort of loosely based on his real life type of thing? That sort of plays into the psyche of what Purple Rain is known for too. So there's always going to be that aspect where we want him to get Prince right, but like somebody said, this ain't about Prince. This is about the kid.
Sure.
So if it's about the kid, I question why change anything. It has nothing to do with Prince's real life.
Right.
But obviously they blend together.
But there's so much explanation that has to happen with people if they're interested in even hearing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we know this moment in time, and then the Prince sphere is sort of like the Marvel universe. All of these characters are important to us, and I don't want to see them, and I think I speak for everybody. We don't want to see them pushed off into the background. Jellybean he didn't speak in Purple Rain, but he's like just as important. The time is like the time. I always thought the time is like Prince expressing that real black side. You know what I'm saying? And the time is like a rival gang in this movie. You know what I mean? They gangsters. You know what I mean? They cool. They hip. Man, ain't none of that felt in the play. None of that. I mean, all of these people are important. And they didn't have to have speaking roles in the. I mean, you got to see it for yourself. I give it a C+, and that might be being a little bit generous. You know what I mean? And people like what they like. I was entertained, as it were. You know what I mean? Meaning that I wasn't falling asleep or anything like that. But I'm telling you, when the dumpster came out, I remember leaning. I had good seats too. I'm leaning against. Well, they were in the balcony, but they were good to me. Leaning up against the thing, and I was like, "Nah, dog,
this ain't it.
This ain't it. This ain't it. This is not." Man, think about your uncles and your big bros and your, maybe even your pops or whatever. And some of the, I think about my own pops, man, and how he was when he was my age or younger. I'm like, daddy kind of wasn't shit on some things. You know what I mean? Right. But I think Prince said this in something, I can't remember exactly where. You take one piece out of that story and the whole thing kind of falls apart. It might have been that Under the Cherry Moon interview. Take one piece away and the whole thing starts to unravel. So I can't look at my daddy now. You know what I'm saying? And change, hey man, you might want to forget some of that stuff. I can't necessarily, you know what I mean? But but I've seen I know the arc. You know what I'm saying? But the story is the story. We get here because of that.
I like that you brought up your dad. It'd be like, to me, like you just said, how do you present your children's grandparents to them? Do you let them see how grandma and them was, your perception of how your mom and dad was, the good and the bad? Or do you just let them know grandpa, he didn't have a side piece. He was always faithful to grandma. There wasn't no drama in the divorce happened because of why. Do we leave those things out when we show it to the next generation, or do we want them to know their family for real, for real?
If I had children, I want them to know I got an uncle right now. I'm thinking about right now. My uncle was a good man, took care of his kids and, do anything, but also, yes. And he was a hustler. Yes. And, he had little things all over the city. Yes. And, we talk about, I'm black. I grew up around a whole bunch of black dudes, and we talk, criticize. And I said, man, that's just kind of, I ain't saying that white dudes don't have their problems too, but I know my community, and I know that this is just how some things work. I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying it's pretty, but we don't need to be polishing up. As a black man, if I go out somewhere and I feel like I'm being treated poorly, and I know that women feel this way as well, where you feel like all of a sudden you got to make yourself small, or you have to, you got to be overly conscious about your tone or whatever. Now, I have a very expressive face. When I'm unhappy, people understand that I'm unhappy, and it shows in my face. But I know that if I used to play with this drummer overseas, and I don't really like the dude. He don't really like me because he used to try to make me the bad guy. But I know when I looked at him, I had to purposely not look at this dude, because I said, if I look him in his eyes to tell him just a regular thing, he's gonna crumble. So as a black man, you feel like you have to, and then there's times I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to make myself small to make you feel comfortable. I'm not gonna put on a for you to feel comfortable. That's not on me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
All right. As Celie McGinnis would say.
Okay,
getting real up in here.
But I have a couple more questions for you, and also comments. So when they did the preview in Celebration, they actually brought the filmmakers. I can't remember. I'm sorry, not the filmmakers, but the person directing the play, whoever was in charge of the music, and was one more person. They were all people of color. Now, I don't know if those roles, meaning like the people in those roles, have changed, but it seems like the people who are in charge, whoever wrote the script, whoever is directing, are all people of color. Now they're young, like they were young, and I don't know, again, if they're still connected, that they, because like I'll give you an example. The first time I interviewed Jerome came to NYU, and I had one of my few Black students happened to be with me when Jerome came in the building. And I asked my student, I was like, do you know who this is? And they were like, no. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, have you seen Purple Rain? And they were like, no. And I was like, do you even know what I'm talking about? And he was like, the t-shirt? And I was like, oh my God. I was like, what is, and this is like one of my, he was a grad student. So he wasn't even an undergrad. So he was a little bit older than, like the undergrads. And I was like, oh my God, what world are we in when people, but I had a similar situation when I used to teach in Philly, and, Rocky was filmed in Philly, like the museum steps and all that. And a lot of the kids in Philly had never seen Rocky. So we're losing like a lot of culture in terms of the younger.
Yeah.
And so that's another reason why I think this is important if it's done well. But I do think that with, even with the box sets, I feel like, well, this is different. I'm not going to go there. So with this musical, I'm assuming that they're trying to capture a new fan base for Prince. That's what I would think that they're trying to do. But I could be wrong. So there's a question that was, what was the Billy Sparks character like in the play? Because I hear that he has like a much larger role in the play than he has in the film, or is that
very large role in the film, a lot more dialogue, but he's also a clown.
Okay.
He's also a clown. I mean, these are people, I mean, the characters that they portrayed are people that I would see in my real life. Michael Dean, we out, and I'm like, man, this clown. You know what I mean? Like, how do you take this person seriously? You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of buffooning. It's a lot of buffooning trying to make this thing funny. And I mean, maybe there's a, look, like I said, I've done a lot of musical theater, and I'm thinking of some shows they're serious shows, Cabaret, Rent, I mean, there's shows that they have funny moments, but they're also like, this is thought provoking, or this is sad or whatever. When people pass on, things change, as they should change. Times change, people change, things change. Paisley Park, Princess, hey, look, my grandmother's house is around the corner, but my uncle lives there now. You know what I'm saying? I can't just go in there and be like, oh yeah, this is where I got that whooping that one time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's his house. It ain't my grandmother's house anymore. So I gotta just, there's nothing I could do about that. I lost my train of thought. As I do, because I'm 55 now.
Blame it on the age.
Where my AARP card. they gotta tighten that up. They don't need to make it out of a, somebody. What I was getting to is, who knows what money plays are going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? I look at it and I'm like, man, somebody trying to get paid. Somebody, there's a little money to be made here. Somebody gonna make some money. So, there it is. I think it's more that than trying to get a new fan base. Although, that would be great. Why do it this way? It sounds like I'm just like crapping on the show.
No.
And I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that, man.
No, man, you paid money to go see that. You can give whatever opinion you want.
all of these things. Listen, somebody said earlier that they took everything Prince did at face value. Everything he said and did was law. I was like that as well at 16. You know what I mean? And now I'm 55. And so there's some things I'm like, I don't agree with that. I don't like that. Arms of Orion. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Well, just to add in, D'Angelo, you're talking about, I think it was the students hadn't seen Purple Rain or something like that. And I wonder back in our time, if somebody, and if it ever came to this, the generation before was like, had you seen Superfly? And, and so that album was so synonymous that you couldn't go to no black house and not flip through and not see that cover. At least for me, I didn't know what the movie was, and at that age, I probably shouldn't have. But I look at it the same way. When I became older, I realized, that was a movie, and that was a movie that was, came out at a time and really, set the flag on certain things. But I know the album. I just know the Curtis Mayfield side of that moment, where for others, Superfly may have, when I look at Prince, I can see the influence that movie visually must have had on his generation, because you can see it in him, how he looks sometimes like Priest. And I wonder if Purple Rain kind of is our generation's turn to sort of see something like that, where it was such a cultural thing, it was such a thing for us growing up. And now 30, 40 years later, you kind of, it is just remembered as a t-shirt, right? It become a pop culture thing. We kind of like, it wasn't just a t-shirt for us. That was a whole, what are you talking about? So I don't know. I think some of that generational thing may play a little bit into this as well. There was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember. So
it's age, isn't it?
There you go.
It's the age. You 56. You older than me.
Right.
What's
my name again?
Listen, I'm rocking the shirt, okay, from the State Theater. Right?
Oh, okay.
You can go out, have a good time.
You know, one more time so people can see you rocking the shirt.
Wait, what happened?
I said, do it one more time because you want to spotlight it.
Uh-oh. A little too sassy.
I've been really trying. Listen. Man, if you get the opportunity, to go to see it, you know what I mean? See it, keep it in perspective. You know what it makes me think though? If we begin to water things down and change the stories for modern audiences, and we got the internet now, right? Some people done told me some stories. I done checked their facts. I done went back. You ain't do that. But it I don't want to get a little deep here. Make me think about things like the Bible. No, I'm just saying, like how have things like that been changed to, to pacify or to make it easier, more palatable for modern audiences?
Touching on something there.
Purple Rain the musical or Sinners? Man, Purple Rain the musical. We ain't touching, man. Sinners, come on, man.
Wait. What? I'm gonna be on my D'Angelo.
It's overstuffed. I said that in my review. It's Sinners.
Were you the one that was saying something bad about Sinners months ago?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again too.
Uh-oh. Oh my God.
Go ahead, man. Go on. You got it.
It was too much. It was too much. It was like, we got this, we got this, we got this. And oh, by the way, they're vampires. And I say, man, y'all could have stuck to 2 or 3 things, man, and we would have had a cool movie, bro. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
It's like you called Michael Dean. He's like, see when somebody say, when somebody say, I feel you. I mean, like, let me not even get into it with this brother right now. Listen,
you already know.
Listen, Sinners was also under, it was entertaining. You know, they could have trimmed the fat, and I think it would have been better. I would love to see a prequel about the twins. I think the twins characters were really intriguing. I love the way Michael B. Jordan played that. Listen, man, you like what you like. I ain't, you ain't got to take my word.
See now you see
everybody getting on me now.
When the black man get to doing all that, and
I told y'all. Listen, I told y'all that Arms of Orion might be growing on me. Cut me some slack.
That's why, yeah, we're gonna give you. That's why I said, I hear you. We're gonna give you that
Michael Dean said, "All right, bro.
It's your house.
It's all right, bro."
Okay, so I will say I love Sinners because of the performances. They were great. Like Michael B. Jordan, I thought was incredible. Delroy Lindo, like I thought the direction was great. I thought the movie was too dark. Like I couldn't see it, meaning like visually, like cinematography. I was just like, I just wish it was a little brighter. It would have been great. It's not perfect by any means, but I think it's a really good film. It's not like 100%, but it's definitely in the 90s.
Listen, I'm not saying that it sucked.
Okay.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that Purple Rain sucked. I'm just like, it seemed like a lot of information. Some fat could have been trimmed. Michael Dean, just hang on, bruh.
No, I'm gonna let you do it. I'm not saying that.
Die, bruh. I mean, maybe I gotta watch it again. You know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make it my homework. I'm gonna watch it again.
Yes, I think you should. I mean, I will say, I mean, since we're talking about Sinners, this is well, okay, I actually had 2 issues with Sinners. One is I wish that the vampires weren't shown before they got to the juke joint. Like that whole scene, like when you actually know that they're vampires before they get to the juke joint. I wish they would have cut that all out, that they would have showed up at the juke joint and you just didn't know that they were vampires. Number 2, the guy who plays the lead vampire is actually one of my favorite actors. He was in this show called Rogue Heroes, but I thought he was miscast to be the lead vampire, even though he is actually a brilliant actor. If you've seen Rogue Heroes, if you haven't, must watch. So it's not that I'm dissing him. I love that actor, but I just didn't think he was cast well for that particular role. I thought that Saul Williams was an amazing cast, as the father, the preacher. And I don't know. I thought that like that whole scene especially Ted, since you're a musician, for me, the whole movie is about the legacy of our music. That scene in the juke joint where it goes through the evolution of Black music.
I enjoyed that.
It's the whole point of the film, in my personal opinion. And it's about how, and also Ryan Coogler said that it was an homage to one of his uncles who was a musician. And so knowing that, and that scene being so powerful, and because I'm such a music head, and knowing how Black music in particular but music in general is just being watered down when it comes to quote unquote real music by real musicians, which is the church I grew up in because I'm a Prince fan. Like it made a lot of sense to me. And for me, the vampire and that whole vampire clique was about, you know, basically trying to steal the soul of Black music. And I thought that was a really powerful metaphor personally. And I don't know if people got that, but that's what I got, knowing that the history and what Ryan Coogler said about his uncle and all that.
Well, I'll say this. One, with the music, I thought towards the end, I'm assuming most people have seen Sinners.
Hold on, hold on 1 second. Let me. Wait, do I have it? And right there you go.
Spoiler alert. So you've got Kingfish, and you got Buddy Guy at the end, and they're playing, but there's some other unrelated pre-recorded audio over that scene, which I thought was like, for me, was like was a bad choice. I'm also not a film person, right? Okay. So maybe I'm not that smart. I mean, I just, like, I don't, some people watch films and they could really kind of pick that apart. I can do that with music. I can, I have the vocabulary to tell you why I like a certain piece of music and why I don't like a certain piece of music. I thought it was a fine movie. There was just a lot of stuff in it where, for me as a viewer, I would have been like, okay, there were just so many themes going on. And I said, man, this theme right here would have been dope by itself. This theme would have been dope by itself. But I'm like, maybe I can't keep up. I don't know. I'm not, intellectually savvy. I don't know shit. I'm just, it was a lot of information for me. Same thing with Purple Rain. With too many things they were trying to do at one time. And I personally I'm a bass player, but I'm just kidding. I would have, I would have liked for it to be, a little less.
No, I get it. I understand. Like, yeah, and also it's very long. So some people aren't into long films and all of that.
I have the attention span of a toddler.
Yes. And I am a movie person. Like I love film. I mean, and Michael Dean is too. Obviously, for Michael Dean to watch The Godfather last night, I mean, it speaks to him being a film nerd as well as
Godfather and Jackie Brown.
Oh wow, that was a great double feature.
Hey, it's like the Black Friday movies sale is on and popping, and I'm right there grabbing them.
Once upon a time, I took a class and it was called Shakespeare on Film. And I thought that it was going to be like an easy grade. It was not.
Yeah.
It was not. I took some online classes, and my ex-wife, I was like, hey, can you, you're interested in this. Can you take this class for me? Because that's what spouses do, right?
Oh my God.
She flunked it. She flunked the class.
You know who you're talking to, right?
She flunked it. I'm sorry, D'Angela. Listen, I
needed listen.
Lord.
That was like my early version of ChatGPT. This is probably why we're not married now. But
oh my goodness.
I'm so bad. I'm gonna get banned. Everybody's gonna be like, no, never have him over.
At this age, you just don't give a damn. You just be like, I'm gonna tell all my shit.
Hey, wait till I get 60, boy. I'm gonna be like Quincy Jones. I'm telling everything. I'm telling man, listen.
Oh my God.
Shit, I'm gonna be on my Dick Gregory.
You ought to see me. You ought to see me on the gig when like a young guitar player or something, especially the guitar players.
Oh shit.
I could tell from the first note whether I'm gonna have a good night or a bad night. And I'm telling you, I look at it and say, I know you gonna turn that shit down.
There he is. Now, this is the tail hour.
I know they say, bro. I know you're gonna turn that down, huh?
Okay, OJ, you got it, OG.
Okay. All right. So I want to nip the Purple Rain musical in the bud by saying I hope that they can work out the kinks, make sure that they show our heroes in the best light, particularly Morris E. Day,
Yes.
because that's really, really important.
Amen.
And it's important that they get it right before it gets to Broadway. I mean, like I said, at first I didn't think it was a good idea, but after seeing MJ, I was like, oh, I get it. Okay, this could possibly work. So I'm hoping that they can get it together, and I hope that it's successful as long as our heroes are portrayed in the right light. That's really important, obviously. Okay.
I ain't making no money off it. No way. So, don't let me count your money.
Me shit.
Don't let me count your money. I'm gonna just tell you if I liked it or didn't like it. Then C+.
Yes. Okay. All right. So we're actually going to have a couple more people coming next week to talk
I was
about
about to say, I think you meant today. I was like, what?
No, next week. And I just want to remind everybody about the upcoming celebration. They've announced the dates. I'm super excited. Oh, before that, Steve Park has actually announced, and you can actually pre-order on Amazon, this double volume special edition of photographs, because I had already pre-ordered the standalone book, but then when he announced the deluxe edition, I canceled my pre-order for the standalone book.
Wow.
And I'm very excited about this 2-volume special edition collection.
So it's 2 books.
Yes, you can get to just the 1 book.
Wow.
If you want, but this is a deluxe edition. So if you want the deluxe edition with 2 books, you need to cancel your order if you already pre-ordered like I did. So you can pre-order on Amazon. So just do your Amazon Googles and you can pre-order the book. I love the cover, like with the overlays of the 3 guitars like that.
That's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
It looks really, really good. So we want to support Steve Park. We also want to support all the photographers because I want as many photography books as possible. I'm still waiting on a Jeff Katz book. If a Jeff Katz book could happen, oh my God. But Steve Park is really coming through for us. So I really appreciate that. And we want to support Steve.
That's cool. That's cool. Just makes me think. I mean, I love this type of stuff. He's not been the first picture type book. Man, would it be cool if the instrument vendors or manufacturers, like, what if they did I'm just on my shit, but what if they did a special Lindrum?
Yeah.
Whatever it's gonna cost. But if you want the one with all the sounds in it, that'd be fantastic, man.
Man, that thing was thanging.
I bet it was. And that's what I wanted to mention earlier. And you mentioned about going to see that, going to the studio and stuff. There's probably an opportunity, or there's another little lane added that they could add to the tour for people like yourself and musicians when they go in there, because I think it hit different when musicians go to Paisley Park and when you actually get into the studio part and you can see the instruments and the board and stuff. They might want to think about, and whatever it might cost, but how the Lindrum is turned on. It ain't the exact one he used, but you give the opportunity, put in a beat, or here's not the actual bass. We're not going to disrespect it, but here's a replica of the Cloud or something, and you know what it is to be a musician. You can sit down on this chair and you give 5 minutes and lay a track down for yourself or something. I think that would be so much for musician cats, man.
Can I share one last thing with you guys while I'm thinking about it? Yeah. I was 15 when Purple Rain came out, and then I turned 55. It was my pilgrimage to Paisley Park, to Minnesota. And I was posting photos on Facebook and things like that. And I have a friend of mine who he said something to me that was so incredibly hurtful to me. It was really, really hurtful. but as critical as I am of some things in this purple universe from time to time, I spent the first 7 years of my life overseas. Parents split up, moved to New Orleans, and I had this, funny European accent, and European in comparison to nowadays they call it bullying, but I got my ass kicked daily. Daily. And New Orleans is a closed-in place. And I discovered Prince, and it felt like it was a pass. It was like, it's okay to be different. It's okay to think outside the box and all that stuff. And I'm really thankful for this community and for the opportunity to share my experience. Go see the musical. If you got it, if you got the means to go see the musical, go see it and draw your own conclusions. If you like Sinners or whatever, I think that's your thing. Do that. I don't know why I got so heavy there. I think I just looked at my phone and I saw a message, and I'm like, man, I can't even really. I don't even know if I could rock with you in the same way, because here I am having the absolute time of my life, and a time that I need, to experience. But man, mad love to all y'all, and shit. That's all I got to say.
You got it. And see, that right there is why this stuff is so important to us, because it came to us when we were younger and we don't live with this, and it means so much. So it's much more than Prince and this and that. We done tired ourselves. We're a part of this, and so anytime we see it, we want to make sure it's represented the right way. So I actually feel everything you're talking about with the play, and I understand it. And I'm glad you just said what you said right there, so people could really get why we're not just some, it's deeper than just being fans. I'm saying it's our life. I'm saying, like, this is a part of our life. This music, it inspired us to do all this other stuff in our lives, and it's still weeded through it. So I get it.
Yeah, man. Everybody, we're all walking in our own experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We all walking in our own experience. And the term, I can't yuck your yum. If you like it, cool. It ain't gonna put no money in my pocket. It ain't gonna take none out neither.
Right. You like it, I love it. Cool.
Yeah, that's it.
I feel you.
So I just want to say, Ted, that I think it's really fantastic that you went to Paisley Park. It took you 40 years to get there, but I think that all Prince fans need to make it to Minneapolis and to Paisley Park, because Paisley Park is a Chanhassen in particular. Yeah. It's nothing like the first time that you go there. It's such a spiritual experience. I remember the first time that I went, because I refused to go when Prince was alive, because I knew that I would never come back if I went to, like, I had friends who went to the celebrations during, like, the early 2000s. I was like, I'm not going, because I knew that I wouldn't come back. But the first time that I went was after Prince passed. And I just remember when I saw the building, I saw the address on the building, and I got out. I just couldn't even go in. It just took me a minute. I just had to compose myself and actually remove myself from other people. I was on the side of the road and I was trying to keep the tears, from falling, because, and it wasn't even me mourning Prince. It was more like, oh my God, this is this building that he built for us. He built this building for us. And it was just like, I was just so overcome with his vision, like how visionary he was, and that he built this in his 20s. And, here we are, continuing to go there. So that's one of the reasons why I do what I do, is to, one, make sure that Paisley Park exists, because it takes 100 years for a building to become a landmark, because my fear is that they're going to turn it into like a car dealership or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important that we continue to visit Paisley Park until it can become like landmark, because it is such an important and amazing accomplishment, like 65,000 square feet of a playground, that 3 studios, a sound stage that you can drive a transfer truck into. I mean, it is really extraordinary. Just to think about this kid from Minneapolis created this entire universe, and he created this space, this physical space for all of us to gather, and put Chanhassen on the map for sure, because there was nothing but cornfields around it. We're continuing to go to Minneapolis, so we're helping with the economy of Minneapolis, all the Prince fans, that are going there. So it's so important to go to Paisley Park. So I just want to thank you, Ted, for finally getting there, because a lot of us will say, I'll do it, I'll get to it. And then it never happens.
And we are seeing it, especially at our age.
Yes.
That, it becomes more evident as you get older that tomorrow is absolutely not promised. I mean, it's remarkable that a man did this in his 20s, right? But what I got the sense of, like, this is where this person lived, where he was no matter what he was, this is where he was fully himself. And I wish I could remember this young lady's name who did the tour. I took a tour of Sun Studios in Memphis, and the guy was so into it. He was so excited. I mean, so knowledgeable. And this young lady was so knowledgeable and excited. And I was so also, at first I was like, they're taking away the Matrix. But then I was also so glad to not have access to my phone, because I could just sit in just look at a space and say, wow, wow. It was breathtaking to me. And I'm glad that I did it in the time, the tour was small. There was one woman there that was maybe just a little bit over the top for my personal taste, but that's me. That's, you do you navigate the world how you navigate the world. But that was a week ago, and I'm just like, so awesome. It was just awesome. And also, as adults, one of my favorite things about being when I was teaching little kids was the wonderment. The wonderment, seeing the wonderment on their face. And I'm like, shit, you have no idea what life is gonna do. So like we get older, and I'm like, I'll take all the wonderment I can get. I'm really gonna shut up after that.
No, that's a good way to end. And so we're gonna wind this down, but I cannot, the holidays are coming up, and the holidays can be really, really tough for people. So please reach out to Dr. Funkenberry over the holidays and send him a kind word. And if you can, please contribute to his GoFundMe. Please send a kind word, or if you can contribute to Addie Durant's GoFundMe, please do. She was a huge part of the Clubhouse Purple Rain audio fan created amazing masterpiece. It's so amazing. You can still listen to it. And then obviously everybody should know who Des Dickerson is. So we want to support. And then there's an accompanying playlist. So I also added Ted's official review of the Purple Rain musical from TED Talk Space, which is Ted's channel. And if you don't subscribe to TED Talk Space, you should absolutely do. And thank you, Kim. Kim says Dr. Funkenberry just put an update yesterday. Thank you, because I didn't see that. And you can also watch the interview that we did with the family, which contains Jellybean Johnson. We love Jellybean. Again, I was so grateful that he was able to join us for the Pop Life 40 Symposium. And there are a lot of other, like I put all of the Around the World in a Day Deluxe Edition. So you can just listen to it on your headphones if you don't have the funds to buy the physical releases. So you're able to do that from this playlist. And again, I would like to dedicate this episode to the one and only Jellybean Johnson, who has given us so much amazing music, and his laughter, and just he was such an incredible and gracious guy. He always made time for us fam. So we just really miss him. We send out love and our deepest condolences to his family, and also to all of the Purple musicians who played with him on all those stages for decades. I know that they're really hurting right now. So Michael Dean, if you don't mind, take us on out.
All right. Well, again, once again, thank you, Ted, for coming through, man, and lacing us up with your review, Purple Rain, just your observations, the experience and the knowledge that you bring, man. We appreciate it for real. And I love, you I don't know if you have kids, but you brought a great, fatherly man spirit that I love. So thank you for that. Salute to Ricky.
Yes.
You're getting better. And Seeley, I think I saw Seeley in the chat for a second. I think he's at a game or something.
Yes.
So salute to that brother. And of course, thanks to everybody in the chat as well. D'Angela, thank you. And again, just to reiterate, rest in peace to Jellybean, and much love and support to his family, all of the people associated. We love all of y'all. This is one of our heroes, one of the superheroes of our community, passing on. He hasn't been the first, probably will not be the last, but hopefully they have saw the love and they saw the effect that they had on all of us, across the world, man. So thank you to that. Hey, with that, work it like a job. Go listen to Around the World in a Day. Check it out. We're gonna do a listen. I say that last week, but we'll do one tonight or later today. So check the feed. It's coming. We're gonna go live and have a good time. Work it like a job. See you next time.
So just really quickly, people want to know what's on my t-shirt. It is F Deluxe. That's Jellybean at the top, St. Paul, nice. Susanna, and Eric Leeds. So I'm representing F Deluxe, the family today. And with that, yes, peace and laters.